and welcome to the first episode of Video Game Podcast. We've just put up an introduction if you want to go find out a bit more about me and Kieran. We're the hosts of this show, and this is our premiere episode.
Yes.
I'm really excited to start this.
It's good.
The layout of our podcast is we're going to start with some news sections, so what's going on in the month, any kind of major game releases, and kind of keep you up to date with what's going on in the gaming world. And then we'll move on to our main content, which this month is going to be the first part of our Nintendo IP.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a pretty good episode. I think we did really well on that.
Yeah. It's good. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably receive a few negative comments for some. Yeah, but no, it was good fun. It was good fun.
Okay, so we'll just run through the releases for November. It's currently the middle of November, so some of these games haven't come out yet towards the end, but
by the time this airs,
yeah, they should be out. Okay, so November the 5th, this is the first kind of date of releases. We had the release of Garfield Kart Furious Racing, which is just the Garfield version of Mario Kart, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We had a pretty big one, not for me and Kieran particularly, but Just Dance 2020 released on all consoles and Windows.
I know it's a huge game, especially in the arcades and that there, but it's one I've never been able to play it. I think I maybe would if I was good at it, but I just can't.
Yeah.
I don't have the. I can't do it.
November 7th, we had the release of Football Manager 2020.
Really?
Yeah, came out. 2020 came out in November.
Do you know I really like the iPad version or the tablet version?
They're quite good, aren't they?
They're brilliant. The little sort of slimmed down versions. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really good. Yeah, I'm out of Football Manager so long now that you need a degree to start the one on the PC, don't you? There's so much going on.
Okay, and then on November 8th, we had three pretty big big games release. We had Need for Speed Heat. Not particularly interested in it.
I am.
Yeah.
I have had no interest in Need for Speed for so long, but when I didn't even know this game was coming out, and then it dropped. It looks like Vice City.
Yeah, the art style is very cool.
Yeah,
actually.
it's really just the art style.
Yeah.
It's pulling me in, because it's just going to be Need for Speed.
Yeah, and then we had Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games release.
Yawn.
Beyond.
Yawn. It's so bad.
And then we had probably the most interesting release of the month, Death Stranding.
Yeah, no, I'd go along with that, yeah.
Hideo Kojima's, he's kept it under wraps. All the trailers have just been nothing. There's been some gameplay footage out before this, but nothing really telling you.
We're gonna talk about this one a wee bit more later on, but
yeah,
it's an interesting one anyway.
At this point, Death Stranding has come out, so
yeah. And it's reviewing alright. That's okay.
Yeah, it's doing not too bad. We'll get on to more Death Stranding later on in the episode, and then November 15th, my favorite day. I've been marking this day off my calendar. Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield release.
He's loving it. He's so pumped about this thing.
I went home from work early, took a half day because I found out that my copy that I wasn't expecting until Monday was arriving at 10:30. So I was calling my sister, please wake up, please get my parcel.
Yeah. It would have been through the letterbox, surely. Look at all the size of it.
Yeah, it could have done all right, yeah. I wanted to make sure, So I was playing that all day yesterday and most of this morning as well. And then the other big release for the November the 15th was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
A pretty big game that, I don't know, it's just kind of fell off my radar.
It's not. It's reviewing okay as well. Most of what I've read, sort of user reviews in terms of forums and groups and things like that, it's just a new Force Unleashed.
Yeah, and that's what I was expecting.
I really
honest.
liked Force Unleashed,
Force Unleashed is a fun
I'm
game,
happy with
absolutely.
that. Yeah, and it looks stunning. It looks really nice.
November 19th, we have Shenmue 3. Mm-hmm. Not really played the Shenmue 1 or 2 before.
I've literally just loaded the first one onto my Xbox.
You're going to give it a go, yeah?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I played them on I didn't finish the second one. I finished the first one, and I played a lot of the second one, but then I think we got rid of the Dreamcast at that point.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But yeah, I can remember bits and pieces of the story, and I don't want to jump into the third one without having any context.
Shenmue 3 is releasing on Windows and PlayStation, no other consoles.
Shenmue 3?
Shenmue 3.
Really?
It's releasing on the Sony. It's releasing on Sony PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I thought it was coming out on Xbox as well. Is it not? No. Really?
It doesn't seem
wow.
to, not on this calendar anyway.
Wow.
And it's releasing for the PC exclusively to the Epic Games
I know
Store,
you were
so
saying,
I will not be buying it.
I don't care. No, I'll buy it. I was a big fan of Shenmue back in the Dreamcast. Yeah.
And then we have a really big release actually that I've completely forgot to tell you about. November 22nd, Doom 64 releases for the Switch.
Yes,
But Doom Eternal also releases November 22nd.
Really?
Doom Eternal, yeah.
I thought it was 2020.
No, 22nd. It says right here, Doom Eternal, 22nd of November on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch.
Yeah, that's just perked me up a wee bit. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh no, what am I gonna do? I feel like I need to go back and play the first one again.
The first one's great. I've just played it for the first time recently. Yeah,
it's so good.
really, really good.
Uh-huh.
And then one more release, which on the November 22nd, which will probably be relevant to some people. Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts. It's just going to be another Sniper Warrior game, and some people really enjoy them. I personally think they're a bit cheesy, but you know,
I played the ones that they put up on PS Now. I think Sniper Elite 4 or something is the latest one.
Oh no, it's not the Sniper Elite series.
Is it nothing to do with that? No?
Warrior. No, yeah, that's completely different. So
really?
Sniper Elite's
Okay.
the World War II guy. Sniper Ghost Warrior is like a modern sniper game.
Yeah, but there's Sniper and then there's like Sniper Elite. Isn't that right?
Yeah, well, there's tons of different games. But Sniper Elite is
loads of games.
Sniper Elite is Sniper Elite.
Yeah,
it's its own game.
So are these not related in any way?
No, not at all. No
really?
relation whatsoever.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And Silent Scope? No.
No, Silent Scope Warrior or something, is it? It's
no,
another
the old Sega arcade game.
Yes.
No, I was joking.
So, Pokemon Sword and Shield release.
Yeah.
It released yesterday, and I think media copies were released at the start of the week. I really enjoy it at the minute. I'm really, really enjoying it. To give you a bit of context, I am not even into the first gym.
Yeah.
I'm 4 hours in, and I haven't even touched the first gym, and I can't believe it.
Yeah, you tried to explain this to me before we sat down here, and I don't play Pokemon. I've played it before, but I'm not massively into it at all, and I don't understand what a gym is or why you do this and what the professor needs to do. And the champion's this guy that at the end, but then you see him early in this one. I don't understand what any of that means. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna be a passenger for this point, you know.
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed it, and the media reviews are very positive. The users are kind of a bit against it, though. I'm not sure what the
user reviews that I've read, especially on the Facebook groups, everyone's positive more or less, but I think it's the change in format that's kind of getting a lot of people.
There's a little bit of change in format, but I think the users are mostly talking about the controversies leading up to the release with the lack of Pokemon that are going to be in it, the lack of, the complete loss of game.
In the petition?
Yeah, there was I know we can't really talk about this petition because it's 40 out of 100,000. It's
but
really
the fact
that
that it exists,
yeah, but know? I mean, I could go write a petition.
It's not the only one. It's a second one.
I could go write a
petition.
The
other one has a lot more
for every single game released, and then it'll be out there all the time.
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's true,
matter if nobody signs it.
But there's another one as well. It wasn't just the one that went to Donald Trump. There was a one before that they wanted to get like a. Like I'm telling you about this. It's like what do you call the Pokédex?
Yes.
They wanted to get like the World Pokédex thing onto the Switch.
Oh right, I see it here. And actually, they wanted to second petition regarding Pokemon Sword and Shield. There's already one in place to bring back the National Dex. The National Dex is the complete Pokédex. So the Pokédex is for your region that you're in, and then the National Dex is every single one.
Okay.
And they wanted to bring that into the Switch game, because it's not there.
Right. Okay.
Because there's not every Pokemon in the Switch game.
Mm-hmm. Is this something that comes usually with Pokemon games?
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, pretty much. In fact, there's no Pokemon game that you can get every single Pokemon.
No, what I mean is the Pokédex thing that.
Oh, the National Dex is
National Dex.
It was first introduced in Pokemon Silver, the second generation of it. So you had.
What was that on?
DS? That was Game Boy Color.
Really? So it's as far back as there?
Game Boy Color one. Definitely Game Boy Color. I don't think Gold and
so this is
Silver released on.
Fairly big emission, like.
Yeah, well, the National Dex.
Right, okay.
It was first introduced there because that was the first time there was two Pokédexes brought in together. So there was the Kanto one, which is the original one, and the Johto one, which is the second gen. And whenever you finish the Silver story, you get to go in back onto the Kanto region, and that's why they released the National Dex, because those Kanto Pokemon weren't available in the Johto region at all.
Okay.
So just the combination of multiple Pokédex and extra National Dex.
Okay. And should it be in the new one? Do you think?
I would love it, but I can completely understand why it's not in it. There was the fact that each Pokemon now, it used to just be a sprite. Each Pokemon now is a complete 3D model.
Yes, but have I not read that they've reused a lot of the ones from the 3DS? So the reason why this was being the reason why you're not getting all the Pokemon is because they have to redo the animations and create new 3D models and stuff. But on release, apparently, because the whole thing is the hashtag is Game Freak lied or something.
Oh yeah, Game Freak lied. Yes, because
a lot of the animations and a lot of the actual 3D models are just taken from the 3DS.
Yeah, I seen a really funny Game Freak lied.
Yeah,
it was a guy walking through the wilderness as his Pokemon character, and it's titled Game Freak said this game wouldn't be scary. Game Freak lied because this little Tyro comes running out sprinting at it from the grass.
Is the Tyro one of your?
No, it's not
No,
one of these.
okay.
It's a little small like mini. It's basically like a mini. It's
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
toddler almost.
Right.
It's just like a really small person.
It's a wee person.
A really small person.
It's a humanoid Pokemon. Okay. Fair
And
enough.
it just comes sprinting out of the grass chasing him, and the guy recording it starts screaming. That's just funny.
Yeah.
But there's also the thank you Game Freak in response to that. Hashtag completely.
That's right,
that
yeah.
was kind of started off by a YouTuber called Mystic Umbreon.
Right.
Because he's been a fan of the series for as long as I have. His hashtag was basically saying, "This is the first time that Game Freak have really said that they've done something wrong. Thank you, Game Freak, for the whole 10 years, 12 years of
Yeah, I
memories."
mean, if you've been playing these games since you were 4 or 5 years old,
yeah,
they're huge.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
totally get that. I get that.
and I think I would side with Mystic Umbreon.
Mm-hmm.
Game Freak lied is all right, but what game doesn't have a little bit of controversy anymore?
No, this is true, and I mean, I think that they're focusing on the wrong thing. For me, I'm not a Pokemon fan, and I see it from the outside looking in, and complaining about the lack of a national dex or complaining that you don't get all of the Pokemon is not the issue. There's a fundamental issue with Pokemon that I have that I just don't get the fascination with it at all. I think
You think Pokemon's a con?
I do to a point, yes, because I mean, there's no point there. It's just it's just to generate money, as far as I can tell.
yeah,
Now,
well,
don't get me wrong, you do get fun games out of it, but more so than a lot of other franchises, the way that it's marketed is,
The thing is, Pokemon is. It's real.
I don't want to get too controversial.
It's a real franchise. You know what I mean? It's a real huge
It's
part
huge.
of Nintendo.
This was it, because I remember when I was younger, I remember they tried a lot of these sort of things, and Pokemon was the one that really sort of caught on.
Yeah.
But there was Yu-Gi-Oh and there was Beyblade and all these other equally, sort of crazy Japanese and equally nonsense.
Yeah.
But Pokemon was the one that
really
took
took
off.
off. Yu-Gi-Oh took
It'd
off
be
really
interesting
well
to
in the
see if
Western world.
if Nintendo had bought out Yu-Gi-Oh.
What would happen?
Would Yu-Gi-Oh be what Pokemon is?
Yu-Gi-Oh's owned by Konami.
Yeah, but it's not owned by Nintendo.
Yeah, it's not owned by Nintendo.
You know.
That's true. That's true.
No, that and Konami don't push it. You still get Yu-Gi-Oh games.
Oh, yeah.
But they don't push it as much
The
as
trading
Nintendo.
card game's what they really push.
Yeah.
The trading card
Or even
game's
something
very,
like
very active still.
I only know about Beyblade because my brother used to be into it. They were like little spinning
The
tops
people
with wee
spinning tops,
blades.
yeah. They were brilliant. I came up in that
He had
generation.
a little bowl and all.
Yeah, the
you
fact
put
that
them
I
in,
had one of the arenas made me the cool guy.
really. Everybody came around to your house to play
Yeah.
Beyblade.
That was great times. So much simpler back then.
Yeah.
I remember you used to, because they came with like a plastic bottom and then you would get like a metal weight in them and then a top to go on top.
Yeah.
If you could, but your thing would always go into as long as you got the weight and the base on, you could always put your spinner in and spin it.
Yeah.
So we used to get two things of the weights and try kind of like squeeze the plastic top on and then spin it.
That's sort
And
of
because
thing
they
I'm
were
following,
heavier,
yeah.
if there was somebody who didn't have like a double weight, it would hit them and they would go flying.
Oh, really? Okay. Thank you. So are you going to buy Beyblade Sword and Shield?
No, but I've already bought Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Or Beyblade Umbrella and Anorak? Like,
No.
do you know what I mean? Like, if Nintendo started putting these out, would you be as mad about them? Because I know it's not the same thing, but it sort of is.
No, it's. I think Digimon's the easiest one to compare Pokemon to.
Is Digimon nothing to Pokemon?
No,
Really?
not at all. It's not even from the same.
I thought
publishers.
Digimon was like, the way Dinobots and Transformers.
No, not at all.
Really? It's nothing to do
no
with it.
relationship whatsoever.
Right, okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, I can't believe you
Blows
thought
his
that.
mind. Very good.
So there's a little comment here on our notes saying that it seems to be a big community backlash is from how dumbed down it's become.
Yeah, apparently it's a wee bit easier than it was.
I would completely
more
agree with
accessible,
that.
though.
Very accessible. I would completely agree. It's a
Yeah.
bit too easy. For the first time ever, you now have an objective flag on your map, whereas before it was very much you had to read the text to know where you were going.
Aye.
So there'd be times where you'd bump into your rival and he'd be like, "Oh, I'm going to this gym, in this town," and you'd have to make your way to that gym in that town.
Is that not good though? Because it means you can skip a lot of the dialogue.
That looks fun.
It's alright.
But yeah, I really agree. It's become very, very dumbed down, and it is for. I mean, the UI, the target audience of Pokemon really is the younger kids.
Aye.
But it's kind of stuck with people as they've gotten older, so they're also the target audience. But
Yes.
to get the new people in, it's always targeted at the kids.
I understand. I mean, it's something Nintendo do really well.
Yeah.
I mean, they do cater to the long-standing fans, but you can, if you're 6 years old. My nephew's 6 years old, and he is
playing
Mario crazy, and he had no idea that Mario existed beyond like him existing.
Oh yeah,
It's almost like Mario exists just for him. It's so
Yeah.
funny. And when you try to explain to him, I played Mario when I was younger, and it just blows his mind. And I was telling you about him playing that Game and Watch.
yeah.
The
You
Game
really
and Watch
enjoyed it, didn't
came out the year his dad was born. And he's sitting playing it.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pokemon Sword and Shield, that's kind of everything to say on it, really. I'm
Yeah.
personally really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to playing it more.
Good.
I'm sure,
I'm glad Pokemon exists.
yeah,
I'm
sure
happy
further
that-
down
yeah.
the line,
Yeah.
I'll be able to talk about it a bit more whenever I've played some more of it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we'll get, we'll get
We'll,
more
we'll
notes
touch
that.
on it again,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, it is huge. Is this going to be the way before we move on? Is this the way Pokemon is now? Is it going to be the way? And is this a new generation? Is what I'm saying. And is there going to be more on the Switch, or do you think this will be the one for the Switch, and then they'll
They
wait on the next
usually-
console for
so
another one?
Pokemon Let's Go was kind of a weird filler to test the technology almost. So Pokemon Let's Go is very similar to the Sword and Shield kind of controls, except for whenever you go into the free mode, whenever you go into the free wilderness,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the Breath of the Wild controls where you can control the camera and everything. So I think Pokemon Let's Go was a good kind of introduction to it. Then Pokemon Sword and Shield will be the new that'll be the new generation for that console.
This isn't top down.
No, not all of it.
Oh wow.
It's very much 3D angled.
Yeah. I'm
you
just
sh-
looking at it here. It's
It
really
is
good.
in the same kind of. It's still top down in terms of how the
That's
roads and everything
interesting.
are laid out.
Yeah.
But that will be the generation for this console, and then they will probably release. I think Diamond and Pearl's due its re-release next.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I think it was.
And when these re-releases come, will they be sort of aesthetic updates?
Well,
Or
yeah,
will they be
pretty
more
much.
to
The
it?
story's
Yeah.
identical. Maybe a few little changes here and there to who does
Yeah.
what, but
Do you think they'll give you the 3D camera?
yeah, that's
Really?
that's the
Very
idea
good.
of it. So
I love. Do you know? I really, really like it when you get to see a game you've already played from another perspective. I'll give you a couple of examples. Like when Grand Theft Auto 5 brought out the first-person mode in the PS4.
yeah, that was really
The
good,
first
wasn't
time you get to do that is mind blowing.
Yeah,
to
it's
see
crazy.
the scale of the, it's crazy. Or to play Skyrim in VR, or
Yep.
there was another one I thought of there, and it has gone out of my head, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I really like that when you get Command and Conquer. They
Oh,
brought
yes.
out, was it Renegades? Isn't that what it was called? But it was a first-person
First-person
shooter.
shooter,
So
yeah,
you
I
walk,
think so.
getting to walk up and see like the big nod bases was just mind blowing.
Mind-blowing, yeah.
So getting to see the game that you've already played from that other perspective,
Yeah,
it's
that'll be good.
It's always good when that happens. Yeah.
The 3DS ones were pretty close to what we have on the Switch,
Mm-hmm.
but just a little bit less 3D, more 2D.
Yeah.
And seeing the Ruby and Sapphire games come to that was really good. And then it was the same even going from Pokemon.
So was Let's Go like third person?
Yeah, Let's Go's
Right.
fairly similar to what this is, but there's no area where you have free control of the camera,
Okay.
like in Sword and Shield.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think this is they'll have a remake of Diamond and Pearl, I think, and then that will be the end of Pokemon for the Nintendo Switch in terms of the main series, main releases.
Okay. All right.
So next up is the Death Stranding release,
Yeah. That's
latest game from Hideo Kojima.
I was so hyped for this game. Really, really, really hyped for this game to the point where I hadn't pre-ordered it, but I was considering going and getting it on release. I've got other things on at the minute, and I'm kind of glad that they have distracted me away from it because some of the reviews have put me off a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily bad, but even Kojima himself has said, like, you have to be prepared. There's going to be long periods of boredom
Yeah,
in this game, and
it's just being part of.
you just
I
be
don't know the name of the character, but I
in the
know it's
world,
Norman Reedus. It's just kind of experiencing him as a character, I think. I don't really know a lot about Death Stranding because who really does until you play it?
Yeah,
I
no,
haven't-
I've watched a fair amount of it. Like, I mean,
It's been out for just over a week now, and I haven't watched a single thing on
no,
it.
I've watched a fair amount of it. It looks very good. I mean, in terms of visually, graphically, it's stunning. It's spectacular. Like, it really is.
Kojima did he keep the kind of art style that he has? So in Metal Gear 4, Metal Gear Solid 4, and
It
Metal
doesn't
Gear
look
Solid
like a Metal
5
Gear
or
game to
5
me. No,
No. So it's got like this kind of vibrant but dark, like, realism to everything. It's kind of like a photorealistic
It's.
art style in it.
I don't know. The first thing that came to head into my mind when you were saying that there was Horizon, but it's.
Yeah, it won't be too far away from Horizon.
It's better looking than Horizon. But it's that kind of thing. Just with all the vegetation and stuff. It's familiar.
Okay,
you know, the looks, but it's the way the lighting effects are, just the way he moves and the animations are so nice. First off, that's the first thing that'll impress you. From what I gather, now this is the thing, I haven't played this game, so I'm not going to talk on it like I'm any kind of authority, but what I've seen is that while you do have long periods of sort of traversing across this, you know, it's almost like a puzzle getting from one place to the other, because there's a lot of different like little abilities and tools and things you need to do to get over certain, like say you have to go up a hill or down a slope or something like that. But you also have to manage what you can carry, because at the start you're just. And this idea that it's a walking simulator, which is kind of funny for a while, it seems really like that. Good. But from what I gather, it's not long before you get some kind of motorized transport, like a motorbike. So you start moving a lot quicker. But yeah, it's one of those games where you really, really do need to become immersed in it. I think you looking at the memes. The memes are the best, aren't they? Like, the memes are so good. It's one of those games. I think if you play it with stereo headphones.
Yeah,
it'll help immensely.
Okay.
The more you can get yourself immersed into the game, the less these boring periods will be boring.
Boring, yeah.
Because you're so invested in it. And I've played games where it's part of, there's parts of The Last of Us, for example, where you don't really do enough. Like, you're just kind of going around scavenging. It's very slow paced at those parts of the game, especially in between huge big fighting sequences. But when you're so immersed in the story of the game and the character of the game, and you're role playing that character,
because you become Joel in that game.
You do. So it doesn't bother you. It's just being in the world and looking around and
you're
sort of feeling like someone else is sort of enough. Yeah.
It's to the point where you've almost detached and you are Joel in that game. So you need to do the scavenging if you want to survive.
I think Kojima's trying to push you in that sort of direction, in the sense that you need to feel everything that the protagonist feels. It's not just a game like, you know, I don't know, like the old God of Wars where you just run in and start smashing, and
Kojima's very good at that.
You're sort of distanced from the character in the sense that you'll take a step back and go, wow, this guy's super cool. Whereas in a lot of other games that are so heavily narrative driven, you feel like it's you. Mm-hmm. You know, you can relate to the character a lot more rather than just sort of sitting back and watching the explosions and the flashing colours. You know, it's a very, very, very interesting game, I have to say, but I'm still a wee bit wary of it. I don't know. I'm gonna sit back for a wee bit.
It seems to be a very niche market.
Yeah,
like a very, very niche gameplay style that you'll need.
Sometimes I'll have a weird opinion of myself and what I play and what I enjoy, and something will come out and I'll think to myself, God, that's like me. That's how I play games. And then I'll get it and I'll be like, what was I thinking?
Well, it's the same way we both played Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah. Whenever we were playing as Arthur Morgan, do you know what? That's a really, really good example, because Red Dead got hammered over the periods of sort of long monotony, and do you know what? I loved it. I loved that sort of just being immersed in it, just sitting having a coffee in the morning, watching the lake. This is what we both did. We would whenever it started to get dark, we would both kind of find a nice little spot to camp.
Yeah.
You'd set up your camp and then you would start cooking your meat.
I had a routine. I would go to bed before midnight.
I would get my coffee on, and then I would start cooking my meat. I'd have a wee nibble of my meat, then I'll go on to my coffee, and then I'll put it down and I'll have another bit of meat and I'll finish off my coffee. Then I'll get into bed, and in the morning I'll wake up, and if I'm in a forest, I'll try to do a little bit of hunting, replenish the meat that I ate last night, or if I'm near a lake, I'll do a bit of fishing. And then I would get on with my day after I was fully prepared with a breakfast, and
the horse has been cleaned and everything, and he's been fed and all. No, absolutely, and that's kind of what I was thinking, and it's I'm really glad you brought that up, because what I was about to say was I can't actually think of. I can remember the feeling of being in a game, not doing anything but just being wowed by the fact that you're in it, and I just couldn't put my finger on what it was, and it's Red Dead 2, 100%. There's so many times playing that game where you're just not playing it. You're just enjoying it. You're just in it, looking around.
You are immersed in that world to the point where Arthur Morgan is your body and soul. And you are Arthur Morgan. And it's and as a result, I don't know anything about how the story pans out in Death Stranding, and I'm not going to give anything away in Red Dead, even though it's been out over a year now. Well, it's only just released on PC, so some people are. That's fair enough. But it's emotionally. It's hard. Draining, it's heavy. It's heavy. I imagine Death Stranding would be the same thing, because in order for you to enjoy this game, I think you need to get it immersed into it in the same way as Red Dead. And I think the same people that criticize Red Dead are probably the same people that are criticizing Death Stranding. Yeah, I would say so.
You know,
people who don't really have time to get immersed in.
Do you know, after talking about this, I'm now a lot more eager to play Death Stranding because I'm thinking about Red Dead and how much I enjoyed that. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny because when I do think about Red Dead Redemption 2, I think about the times where I was with the horse, just feeding, cleaning,
just
and,
hanging out,
cooking my food and just sitting by the campfire and being immersed in the world. That's almost the points where I enjoyed the most. But the coolest scene in all of it is whenever you walk onto you're with the moon in front of you and your shadows behind you, and you're walking onto this big stage.
The plantation.
You're walking onto this big stage just to fuck shit up.
It's so good. The whole row of them walking up, like, it's so nice.
It gave me goosebumps seeing that. I was like, this is like Django Unchained level.
It was so cool, wasn't it? Like, there's lots of parts in that game, and I imagine, I don't think for a second, because Hideo Kojima and Rockstar and the way their stories are told, like your man Dan Houser's tremendous in that sense, and Hideo Kojima is, but it's from a different perspective. So
Hideo Kojima really fleshes out his backstories.
See,
if you look at Metal Gear Solid,
it's the cumbersome sci-fi that kind of gets me. It's a wee bit too elaborate sometimes, and I lose track of what's going on because I'm not the brightest guy, you know.
The thing with Metal Gear Solid is I think it was going that way, and then he just introduced nanomachines, and nanomachines did everything, and that was it. If you ever had a question, nanomachines.
A wizard did it. No, that's cool.
Do you think if there was more given away of the story and how the game actually played and what you would be doing in Death Stranding, that it would maybe have been a little bit more appealing? Because to me personally, the reason I didn't stick up to date with it as much is because I didn't know much about it from getting anything.
No, it was. I have to say that the because it was so ambiguous, it was. I think
curiosity was picking at you.
Yeah, it's a bit like. Do you remember the? Free me. Do you remember The Simpsons? Gabbo. And Gabbo is coming, and all the billboards was like, he's coming, Gabbo is coming, and people were like, oh my god, who the hell's Gabbo? This is mad, and it sends the town into absolute frenzy, and then they turn it up, and it's just some ventriloquist with dummy, you know. It's like, what the hell, like, you know. But that's what it does to you, you know, when you don't know what's coming, you sort of invent things and protect things, and the idea, like, it was funny the whole way through that. I did have a niggling feeling in the back of my head that this could be just a Hideo Kojima self-indulgent, you know, contrived nonsense.
Just what he's wanted to do,
And I have to say, when the game first dropped, a lot of people were saying that, and I was thinking, God, this was kind of my worst fear with this game. But you know, this sort of conversation has made me feel more about that game than anything, because because of the Red Dead factor. That's funny. I'd be interested to see. Do you know what? I'm going to raise that point on one of the forums and see with somebody who's actually played the game and see what they think. And because it'd be interesting to find out if the people enjoying this game are the same people that really enjoyed Red Dead, because Red Dead was kind of polarized, even though it's spectacular. I mean, I don't think anybody
bought it again for the PC.
I don't think anybody will deny that I mean, visually and a lot of other ways, it's absolutely stunning. But it was heavily criticized because of the pacing, because it was so slow.
It was very, very slow. It wasn't the first 2 or 3 chapters took you forever. Like, I mean, this is a good 50-hour story.
Oh god,
you could play this. You could play this game for 100 hours without getting to the end of the story if you took your time with it.
Absolutely. It's funny, I've played through the narrative twice, and I haven't 100%ed it. The closest I've got is like 97.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to 100. I wanted to 100 it, but then I just kind of lost a little bit. You know how you get to the point where you've played a game?
Yeah. And it's your man with the exotic birds. You have to go and get all the little plumes, and they never appear.
I'm at the point where I'm just picking up, and I really can't be bothered. So Death Stranding, I'm going to wait for the PC release, but then I am going to buy it.
Yeah, I'm going to get it. I want that weird collector's edition because
you want the fetus?
Yeah.
Norman Reedus and the magic baby.
Do you know what? Do you know? I didn't realize this. Apparently, when you're carrying this baby about in your little sack or bottle or whatever it's in, and then something happens, the baby starts crying and things go wrong. I don't really know the context because, like I say, I've only watched it. I haven't played it. In order to improve the situation in some way, the baby's crying and everything else. I don't know whether it works like your health bar or something that you have to get your health back, and in order to do this, it's like I don't know, eating a potion in The Witcher or leaning against the wall and get away or something. You take the baby out and shake it and put it back in again. There's actual baby shaking animation. It's just mad. You just blah, 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 and then force it back in. It's mad. It's just nuts. There's a, you know what? Well, I'll maybe find a link in the show notes or something. But there's a really, really good YouTube video. I forget who it's by, and it's tremendous. And it's the 10 creepiest things you can do in Death Stranding, and it's hilarious. Brilliant. It's so funny.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So next up on our list here is Grand Theft Auto 6 rumors.
Yeah.
Which is completely ridiculous.
It's utterly nonsense. Now, the only reason why this is here is because it to me, in the last week or two, I have seen this appear on Facebook groups and forums, and it's the amount of people being sucked in by this. And I don't know.
Suckers,
I don't know if
literally.
you can stick it on the screen there. It's a screenshot surfaced of what looks like Vice City with Grand Theft Auto 5 graphics, cars, models, things like that. It's not hard to recreate this sort of stuff. And if I know Rockstar, and you know most of us kind of do, we've followed their games for a while. Even the idea that this would come in 2020, if it is a screenshot of GTA 6, is nonsense anyway.
Yeah, because their next game to come out is Bully.
Yes, I believe so. And even then, they haven't announced anything. They haven't said anything. They haven't done anything publicly about Bully. They've changed the sign on the front of the building. That's the only thing I've seen. And Grand Theft Auto, in terms of sort of worldwide appeal, is it's a different species.
Yeah, completely.
The Bully, you know what I mean?
So Grand Theft Auto is Rockstar.
Yeah, if this is coming in any way, shape, or form in the next 24 months, you would know something about it. And you haven't been told anything. And even when it does first drop, when you first get I remember, if you remember how they teased out 4 and 5, they'll give you little snippets. You'll get little hints on the Rockstar Twitter account. Mm-hmm. You'll get maybe a screenshot or two on the social club as it is now. But what they do is they'll release like a trailer, like a teaser trailer, and then it's almost like a movie. You'll get one trailer and then another trailer and another trailer, and it'll tease little bits.
Yep.
And you'll get months and months and months of guys on IGN and all the internet sort of, reviewers, and they'll have. I remember IGN had a GTA 5 o'clock.
Yep.
Which actually progressed right into the game because of the whole conspiracy theory thing with aliens and stuff.
Okay.
So, and I used to watch this, and this was a daily podcast that used to have. It was Grand Theft Auto. It was called Grand Theft Auto 5 o'clock. And this was on every single day. This is how much this game hypes people, right?
That's brilliant.
So, if this exists in any way, shape, or form, a single screenshot of something so easily recreated is not. It's not what it's going to be.
There's San Andreas mods which make it look photorealistic. There's Grand Theft Auto 4 mods which will make it look photorealistic. So
I think it's the car models, because there's like a Huntley S and a few other ones from Grand Theft Auto 5. I think that's what's throwing people. But it's definitely faked. There's no way that it's real.
I wouldn't say that it's definitely not.
Like, I might eat my words at some stage, but I would be amazed if
it's definitely not
that's
a new
real.
game. It's one of the old ones that has been modded.
I think so.
That's as far as
I think so.
Pretty obvious.
It looks to me like it's GTA with a graphics mod with the GTA 5, or GTA Vice City with a graphics mod with 5 models put into it. The other thing though, which is added fuel to the fire, is because Rockstar India have recruited testers.
Brilliant, yeah, that's good memory. Yeah, the Rockstar Games talent acquisition went for looking for testers.
Because they put it out on Twitter saying like what was it they said, the advertisement? It was actually kind of good. It was something like, do you want to play the best games before everybody else, or something stupid like that,
It's here, I'll see it, and I don't think I can stretch it out, but yeah, it's something, it looks like it's something similar. Like, do you want to play the best game in the world before anybody else?
Yeah, it's kind of something like that. It was kind of cool. They put that.
They sent that out with Grand Theft Auto 5 screenshots and the Grand Theft Auto 5 kind of text.
And I think that's what's got people, because the actual advertisement that they put out for this had the Hollywood strip girl from Grand Theft Auto 5 as the side, sort of as like a splash screen.
That's just going to be Rockstar.
But that's just promotional art.
It's just Rockstar. You know what I mean? If Rockstar are promoting a game, it's going to be Grand Theft Auto.
I don't take that as a clue for GTA 6.
I wouldn't.
I really don't. No.
I mean, Rockstar Games are a games development company. They need testers to test their game. It's pretty. I mean,
do you want a GTA 6?
Right now, I don't really see a need for it, because Grand Theft Auto 5 is still really healthy.
I'll be honest with you, and this is the reason why I asked you that is because this is why this is blowing up like this. I would take a Grand Theft Auto 10 right now. I don't care if they release Grand Theft Auto 6 today and 7 tomorrow and 8 the day after. I would buy all 3 of them. I don't care. And this is and a lot of gamers are like that, because Grand Theft Auto has become one of those. It's just a staple in gaming now. Yeah. It's almost everyone plays it at some stage. And I remember playing this on the original PS1 and being blown away by this. It was one of my favorite games then.
The top-down one.
Yeah.
Really
And 3, like even to this day, you have sort of gaming memories that stick out, things that just really, really wowed you, and they'll never leave you. See the first time when you pick up your guy, what's his name? Is it 8 Ball? The guy when he's got his hands burnt in Grand Theft Auto 3. You know, you get busted out by
Yeah.
the Katarina in the cartel. It's mad that I can still remember this. She tries to kill you at the start when you're doing like a bank job.
Yep.
You go to jail and then you get busted out. And it's like 8-ball. He takes you back to his place. You jump in a wee Karuma is the car that you get into.
That's brilliant.
I honestly haven't watched or read anything about this recently, but it's so good, right? I've played this a million times. But when you get in that car and you first come over, it's like what's it called, Staunton Islands. You come over that bridge heading down into the middle island or the first island, and you see the city lights behind you, and it's in full 3D. Because at that stage on the PS2, you'd never seen anything like this.
Before,
it blew my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god! And the amount of time I put into that game just assing around. Do you know what we used to do? Because you couldn't control the car pitch in the air in Grand Theft Auto 3. We used to, because Tony Hawk's was a big game at the time. Me and my friends were all skateboarders. We designed this little skateboarding game where we would pass the controller, sitting around having a few beers, and you'd maybe get like somebody to time you for 2 minutes, and you'd have to fly around, and then people would vote on who did the best. But what you'd do is, there's a really, really good part in the game where, I'm trying to think of where this is. It's in the middle island. There's a big white wall that runs along the left hand side. I think it's like a car park inside. And there's 2 bridges come down from the first island. And in between there's like a sort of island of grass in the middle, and there's little ramps at the side. So what you do is, and the best car for this is the Triad sort of Stinger.
Right.
It's red and white. And you get one of those things because it's a little bit quicker. And you hit this thing at the angle, and you have to try and flip your car as many times as you can and land on the white wall and slide down the white wall and then come back off onto your wheels. So, and you used to be able to, and we were so good at this. So you'd fly up and you'd land upside down, and you'd get people cheering all the way. And this was Grand Theft Auto, but nobody was playing Grand Theft Auto. We were playing Tony Hawk's in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
But it was that the freedom that game gave you at that time was unparalleled, and it's no surprise what it's become.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Would I be excited for Grand Theft Auto 6? Yes. Do I think it's come? Do I think it will come? Of course.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be anytime soon.
2020 maybe.
No,
sorry, not 2020.
No
sorry,
way.
2022 maybe.
Yeah, that's probably closer.
3-4 years down the line, I would say.
The online's still such a cash cow.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
people
that's raised them as the biggest franchise and media franchise on the planet now, I think. It definitely
it would be up there.
It was in the last year. I remember reading an article that it was number 1, but Pokemon might have overtaken it now.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Possibly,
honestly.
but it's above Star
Pokemon's
Wars
a
and all
monster.
sorts, like
Pokemon is a monster.
Yeah. A couple of game releases, and that's all it takes.
Yeah,
that's it.
literally.
Yeah.
So Sony have patented a storage cartridge. It's kind of similar to a Switch cartridge, I would say.
Yeah, that's not what I think it is, though.
No, what do you think it is?
I've written it there. Right, what they're going to do. I have seen people touch on this, but I'm not sure if anyone has actually said it and fleshed it out in this sort of way. People are saying that this could be cartridges for the games. I don't think that's going to be the case. It could be a mobile console. I don't think that's going to be the case. It could be a way of them sort of upgrading the memory. The cartridges could be their way of giving you the PS5 and the PS5 Pro. So instead of buying 2 consoles, you buy the first console and then you buy an expansion pack like you did with the 64.
Yep.
Right? That's sort of getting towards what I think they're going to do. Sony wanted to release this console, and there was rumours it was going to be £800 or £900, and people lost their mind over this. Suddenly, all of a sudden, the price. Oh no!
It won't be like $499.
It won't be above 500.
Yeah.
How the hell have they saved that £300? By reducing the vanilla hardware, by giving you limited storage, and forcing you down the route of buying external cartridges for your digital games. And that's what these things are. I guarantee you.
That's very honestly. I read it there as you were saying, and
that's what it is.
That's probably what. That's very clever.
I don't know if that's what it is.
That's
I really don't know if that's what it is. But
that is how. That's.
But it seems the most logical thing, doesn't it?
It's not going to be. It's not going to be a new console. It's going to be the way of dropping their prices by giving you a lesser console. So do you think that
they could give you a 1 terabyte hard drive with it, and then you just expand it with these, which would be totally fine. What I'm worried about is them doing something like what Microsoft did with the Xbox Arcade.
And the top and
well, do you remember the original?
The arcade came with 4 gigabytes, didn't it? And then
it came with nothing. Like you and people were using pen drives for their save games and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, wow.
It came with like a 4 gig hard drive. I think you're right. It was called the Xbox 360 Arcade, and it was the bottom of the range one. This was long before the idea of digital games, because it's completely the opposite of their digital only thing, because it's all about storage. You could use pen drives, you could use external storage to save your games if that's what you wanted to do, but I don't know if Sony will do it.
It's going to be an expansion then.
Well, what I think might happen is, because these are apparently SSDs, they might put it out with, say, a a decent capacity hard drive, like say a 1 terabyte hard drive, but it'll be a hard drive. It'll be a spinning disk,
not an SSD.
Yeah,
so it'll be slower.
So it'll be slightly slower. But you have the option to run your games off an SSD. I imagine it might have like a sort of cartridge slot in the same way as the Sega Saturn does, just in the back of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If it's for storage, it's going to be interesting because it's maybe going to get to the point where games are just going to come on hard drives and then you just plop it in.
I mean, what's the difference between that and what the Switch is doing at the minute?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's just on a bigger scale. Yeah. And the thing is, if they're putting out the games on 1 terabyte cartridges, I mean, you can get a full game on a disc.
Yeah,
and a disc doesn't hold 1 terabyte. So
the biggest game in the world now is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and it's 175 gigabytes.
Well, there you go. I mean, if they're putting out, I can't imagine what's going to happen is you'll end up seeing PlayStation boxes on the shelves of game, and inside it's like a hard drive with Barrow written on it, like tagging,
Just the cartridge, just
But I don't know if you'll be able to buy the cartridges with the games already on them. It would be interesting if you could.
But yeah, why
I
would they do something
believe
like
that it's going to have an optical drive.
Pens?
The PS5 has an optical drive, doesn't it?
Probably.
So it'll be discs again, and the storage, I believe, will probably be an extension to it, and it gives gamers a way of. Do you know the way you can add an SD card to your Switch? It's the same basic principle.
I thought that was really good of Nintendo, just to make a very easy expansion on your memory. I thought that was very, very good because way you can do it on, I mean, the PlayStation, you can use a USB and plug in an external hard drive, and that's pretty cool. But the SSD into the back of the Switch it's nice because all the other the other Nintendo ones have had that. The 3DS has an SD card into the side of it.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think Sony are doing anything different from anyone else.
It's just maybe the first time doing it.
Well, no, you can put you get the wee card for the PS or for the Vita as well.
Oh yeah,
but it's not an SD card. It's called something else. It's
micro SD card or something.
No, it's I think it's a unique thing for the PSP.
Oh right, okay. I know. Sorry, for the Vita, the PSP used an SD card.
I think the Vita has its own wee thing. Yeah. I'm not too sure. I've never actually owned the Vita, but I think what's interesting here is if this is what they're going to. This is the only reason why I think what I'm saying here is
plausible.
Yeah, but it could very well not be true. It could be something completely different. Because ask yourself, why are they doing this when SD cards already exist?
It's true. Why would they be doing that?
Why not just put an SD drive on it? You don't need to create any new hardware. You don't need to. I mean, the thing is, this is another way of pushing.
Money?
It's the same way. The same reason. Well, why are 3DSs released with a charger that isn't a micro USB?
That's true. It has to be bespoke. Yeah.
There you go. It's a way to make more money. It's not really that good, and to be honest with you, it kind of smacks of Sony the last couple of years. This idea of we're the kings, we'll do what we want. We don't need to tell you anything. This is the thing. Look, there's EXO 2019 aired. Microsoft and Nintendo both have
Nintendo Direct and then Xbox.
They both have regular sort of online magazines where they come on. Xbox's one is like a A3 conference every couple of months. It's huge.
It's really good. They really push it, and I really like that about
Sony aren't telling you anything.
I don't remember the last time Sony had a conference.
Yeah, well, sure, they didn't do E3, they didn't do PSX, and we don't have. All we have are vague hardware specs, which will likely change before the thing releases anyway. Yeah. We literally know zero about the new PS5. And
they're just kind of a bit stubborn now, aren't they?
What blows my mind too is that it's a bit. You can say this with any sort of console manufacturer because they have these diehard fans, and it's regardless of what the scenario is, they're going to support them. And I remember I read somebody put a comment on one of the groups or one of the forums it was on, and it was like, "Are you going to buy a PS5 despite not knowing anything about it?" And the amount of people said yes, just yes. Yes.
Am I going to buy it?
I mean, the thing is, we know that Microsoft have bought up something like 20 like established developers, and these aren't massive like Obsidian and Ninja Theory. Like these are proper developers. Yeah. They're pumping out the guts of something like 50 odd games between them, and these are all going to be exclusive games for the new Xbox. We know what Nintendo's doing. We know that Nintendo and Microsoft are getting very cozy.
Yep.
They're. I mean, I can't see it anytime soon, but you could end up with their first party exclusives on either console. Playing Halo on the Switch, I don't think is that crazy of an idea. Playing Mario Kart on the Xbox, I don't know. I can't see that somehow. But
I don't think Nintendo would give up their primary IPs.
But I mean, there's an awful lot of reasons at the minute to be swayed towards the Nintendo or the Xbox console. The only reason why at this moment in time you would buy a PS5 is form. That's it. That's the only reason. is because the PS4 was brilliant, so the PS5 is going to be brilliant.
Yeah.
But that, as we know, that doesn't happen. Look at the success of the PS3, and when the PS3 released, it was a dog. It was horrible. Don't get me wrong, by the end of that console, it was definitely
great,
the one to have. Like, don't get me wrong. But it just shows you that you can be burned doing things like that. I was a Sega fanboy when I was a kid, and we went straight from the Mega Drive to the Sega Saturn.
Didn't even think about
and
it.
it wasn't, within about a year, we had a PlayStation. And even then,
The
even with
PlayStation 2
that,
was the dominant console
we
then,
still
no
bought
doubt.
the Dreamcast when the Dreamcast released.
Just for Sega form.
And within about a year, we had a PS2.
Yeah.
So I think, it is what it is. The industry's like that. But what bothers me is that it allows these companies to behave like that, to behave in such a way that they just don't care.
Yeah.
And you do see it. Microsoft were like that for a while during the 360 era when they were flying ahead, and Sony did the whole hearts and minds things, buy up all the developers, and the PS3 started pumping out real good first-party games. And it eventually sort of, it overtook it. And I think Nintendo and Microsoft are doing the same sort of thing. They project this sort of "we're your friends" type of thing. I don't think for a second that it's real. They're all multinational corporations, like, let's be honest. But you can only take what they're putting in front of you, and at the minute you're getting more from the other two than you are from the big one, which is kind of weird at the minute. But yeah, so anyway, just a last bit on that, on the cartridge. The form factor of the cartridge is weird.
It is a very strange looking
it looks
cartridge.
like
it really is.
It looks like an old do you remember the old, what did you call them? It was the same as the cartridges that went in the 64DD, the zip drives. Remember the old zip drives you used to get? It was like a fat floppy disk.
Yeah.
Or it looks
Actually,
a bit like, I don't know, you're not getting a lot of scale with the little pictures.
No, there's nothing to compare it to.
So you don't really know, but in terms of the shape, they look like if you've ever seen the memory card for an N64 controller.
Yeah.
The pictures would have you believe they're slightly bigger than that.
Yeah.
But they might not be because you have no context. But we'll see what happens.
It's definitely an interesting one to keep an eye on, and I just hope it's nothing crazy. It's going to cost a lot of money.
That's my fear. I think it probably will.
So Capcom home arcade release.
Oh my god, what about that thing?
A new mini console.
It's the biggest mini console I've ever seen. It's huge.
Is it?
Absolutely.
Whoa, it's a big board.
It is humongous.
Whoa.
Yeah, I've seen the actual box. I don't own one of these, right? Because
that looks insane. That looks
I'm not
really
a rapper.
cool.
It's £200, isn't it?
It's £200, $199.
Wow. For a mini console, that's a lot. Like
it is. I mean, you've seen what happened with Sony whenever they tried to push the PlayStation at £100. It went down to £50, half its price, and I'm less than a month.
I believe in terms of the quality of the emulation, in terms of the games that are on it and stuff, it's head and shoulders above the PS Classic. I mean, it's Wasn't it the level of these are they're perfect arcade recreations of the likes of Street Fighter, Final Fight, Ghosts and isn't it Ghosts and Goblins, or is Ghouls and Ghosts?
Oh, Ghouls and Ghosts.
Ghouls and Ghosts. There's a couple of other Mega Mans on it. There's a regular ones, but they're perfect arcade recreations. And apparently, from what I've read,
Super Puzzle Fighter 2.
Yeah,
it's Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fight, and that's
the Super Puzzle Fighter was on the PlayStation Classic.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. We played a game of that.
It's probably the best game on it, actually. Yeah.
Going back to the PlayStation Classic and its really bad emulation, it was found out that the SNES Mini could play the PlayStation 1 games better than the PlayStation Classic.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was a joke.
That's true. I know it was a bit of a mess. But easy to hack. If you with zero technical knowledge, you'll be able to put whatever the hell you want on this thing. So
we're not endorsing that you do that, because that goes against the
no, I'm talking about playing backups of your own games. So
I don't even know if that's allowed at this point.
No, it is. The
ROMs are, but I don't know if Sony discs are.
What do you mean?
ROMs come from the Nintendo cartridges.
No, but I mean, if they're my games, if I've bought the physical game and I've copied the data off that, I own that data and I can do whatever I want with it as long as I don't make money off it.
Maybe for PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, but definitely not from PlayStation 3 onwards.
Why?
It's just how it is.
No,
is that you don't own your PlayStation 3 because you can't do whatever you want to against Sony's terms and conditions.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, right, okay.
That's why they're allowed to.
So
that's why they're allowed to brick consoles. So if you go against their
yeah.
terms and conditions, they can brick it, and that means you can't do what you want with your property. Therefore, Sony still own it.
Right. Okay. It's a weird sort of concept, isn't it? Yeah, when you think about it. But I mean, what are you in breach of here? I mean, if I was to
Tony's terms of services.
So you're not breaking the law.
No, there's nothing illegal about it unless they try to pursue you in a legal suit for.
No, we're not insisting that you break law. Don't break the law.
Do it.
Don't do that.
So we have a full list of the games on the Capcom. We have 1944, The Loop Master, Alien vs Predator, Armored Warriors, Capcom Sports Club, Captain Commando, Cyberbots, Full Metal Madness,
There's a lot of really good ones.
Darkstalkers, The Night Warrior, Eco Fighter, Final Fight, Ghouls and Ghosts, Giga Wing.
Oh, Giga Wing is such a good game. Oh,
Mega Man: The Power Battle, Pro Gear, Street Fighter 2, Hyper Fighter, Strider, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, and that's the games that are on.
what a list! Like
That's
that
pretty
is,
cool.
they are
Pretty
class.
cool. And if they're going to be truthful arcade recreations,
Yeah, well, I've said to you before. When I was younger, it was the arcade games that I was into. It wasn't the big adventure games. I think
Yeah.
I liked, sort of
it
frantic
looks
skill-based
very
games.
cool. It's just the Capcom logo
Yeah, the
with
form
two,
factor's amazing.
with two little. It's really cool that they're
Yeah.
giving you the two to play like a little arcade
Yeah.
cabinet.
It's
Very, very cool
you need
because
a
you could
key-
set those on your lap almost by the scale of it.
I suppose we could have two people sitting next to each other with it on their lap. It would be better on a table.
Oh,
I
absolutely,
think,
yeah.
Well, sitting on a stool with the table up at sort of chest height, yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great. Playing on a big TV.
It is very expensive though for what it is.
It is. I would hope that it'll come down in price, but it might be one of those niche ones that just don't. It's a bit like the Neo Geo Gold. Or
Yeah.
the Neo Geo X, isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, it didn't really. It was kind of cool, but
It's cracker. It's the one. It's the one. The one I have. Not the,
Yeah, the
not
little-
arcade,
the little tiny handheld one.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like a switch, and it
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
inside
yeah,
the
it's
console,
very
and then
cool.
you get the big sticks.
Yeah.
It's really good, and the emulation on that's great. The games on that are great. I mean, the original Neo Geo was perfect recreation in the arcade anyway, so that's fantastic. But that one there doesn't come down in price. Not really.
Not really, no.
I paid £200 second hand for my one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's Neo Geo.
Didn't realize it was that expensive.
Yeah. And I've seen them like even on eBay now. They go for £300-400 depending. Because what has happened as well, I don't even know if these are first party, but with that, with the Neo Geo X, they've started putting out multi-game cartridges. So you get effectively like an little SD card, and it has maybe 20 games on it. And there's Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume
that's
3,
cool.
Volume 4.
That's very
You know
cool.
what I mean? So if you have a couple of these wee games to go with it, yeah, I've seen these top £300-400.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Very cool.
So, in that, it might be one of those where because it's Capcom as well. Capcom stuff tends to hold its value as well. So, I don't know if you'll see that one come down in price.
No, I don't think you will. And then last on our list of news is Super Mario Land 64.
Yes.
A fan did a recreation of it on
This is
PC, and I
amazing.
think it's the Unreal 4 engine that it was done in.
Really?
Well, that's what a lot of the re-releases get done. So they did they don't do complete ones, but
Okay.
before the Spyro trilogy came out, they did like a remake of the first kind of area where you run around a Spyro. Pretty cool. In Unreal Engine 4, and then it's the same with The Legend of Zelda. It's had.
I've seen snippets of one that's been done of Ocarina.
Yeah.
I don't think you can play it. I don't
Oh,
think
no,
it's
no,
out there,
absolutely
but
not.
I've seen
But
videos
this-
of it, and it looks incredible.
This is the complete game now, recreate it in
Oh,
Unreal
this is
Engine 4,
great.
and this is completely playable.
Can we watch it? Can we put it on the screen?
I'll give it a go. I don't know if we'll get much sound, but I can definitely put it in the corner or put a link in the description.
Yeah,
somewhere.
the sound's not overly important, but just get a look at this. It is amazing. It looks like Super Mario 3D World. And
Sorry for all the audio listeners.
oh yes, I forgot about you guys. Sorry, you will get this on YouTube as well, and you can watch the video. But it's, I mean,
it looks great.
it's so good. It looks like the 64. Even the text is the same.
Yeah, if this is the gameplay of it, I don't think this is the Unreal 4 engine.
No,
I think this is a bit.
it looks
It does look like the N64 version as well.
it's like if they released Mario 3D World on the N64. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And look
cool.
at look.
A lot in it.
32 new levels, 70 different areas. What is it? 10 new bosses, like 30 new music tracks and all. Yeah,
And it's free.
and it's totally free.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so go check that out in the
Get
description.
on that. Get on
We'll
that.
put a link to it, definitely. We'll put a link to this video, and if we can find the download, we'll put it on the
Yeah.
download.
That's such a good. It looks so good.
Yeah,
It looks so
it looks like
good,
it'd be quite
doesn't it?
fun. If you don't have a
Yeah.
copy of Super Mario Land 64, this is probably a really good way to play it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nobody's going to have a copy of it. It doesn't exist. This is it.
This is completely new.
This
game.
is brand new. Yeah.
It's not just Super Mario World.
No, it's
Or Mario 64.
it's Super Mario. It's Super Mario Land 64.
Uh-huh.
So what I believe it is, I mean, you can tell by the sort of visuals of it, it looks like Mario 64, but in terms of the format, it's Mario 3D World. So it's Mario 64 from a Mario 3D World perspective.
Okay, that's cool.
It's
That's
completely
very cool.
new.
That's very,
No
very
one
cool.
will actually have a copy of this. It's completely new. Yeah.
I'll get on that. That looks like it'll be a lot of fun.
It is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like something Nintendo would have put out.
Cool.
Really, really good. Really good.
All right,
What
guys.
did you, sorry.
Okay.
Give the guy credit. What did you call the fella?
The guy is
I can't remember his name.
called. I don't know.
His name starts with an E, I think.
I don't. Kaze Emanuar. I'm completely butchered that.
Sorry.
I will put everything will be in the description for this. I will reference this.
Yeah, he's done loads.
Go check
out the guy's stuff. Yeah. He's done a lot of things and well established. And this looks
fantastic,
unreal. Yeah.
All right, we're going to pass you on to the main content now. Thanks for listening to the news. All right, guys.
We'll see you next time. Hello, Video Game Podcast again. Kieran, Gareth. We're going to talk about Nintendo IPs today. So it's all to do with. There's so many of them. They're everywhere. All the time, always the same. But there's an awful lot that they've had over the years, but they just haven't really. They've wasted an awful lot of them, I think. Absolutely. Yeah. And there's certain ones that we'll come on to that I definitely think should get a lot more love than they do. And there's maybe some IPs that just because they sell, you can't complain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Animal Crossing maybe shouldn't exist.
No, I'm debating that.
No, we'll come on to
I really like Animal Crossing.
We're not going to talk about them all because there's so many, going back to 1970s. So we'll maybe take as many as we possibly can, and we're going to do this in two parts because there's so many as well. So this is going to be part one. It's going to take us. We're going to try and do it as alphabetically as we possibly can, but we may get a bit sidetracked, as we normally do. But first up is the 1080 franchise.
Never really familiar with it, honestly, at all.
Really?
Never played it.
Good start.
I mean, yeah, I had an N64 for the 1080 snowboarding. That was the first one. I had an N64, but I just never got it. It was just, I don't know. I played primarily Pokemon.
Yeah,
which
I know.
Sound ridiculous.
I know.
Every time we mention N64 or Nintendo,
it's just Pokemon.
It's Pokemon for me.
No, the 1080 game was good. 1080 snowboarding. I never played Avalanche on the GameCube.
Yeah,
I haven't played that.
I mean, I've played SSX, so I'm assuming it's pretty similar to that.
Yes, in the way that I don't know, like White Cider's the same as Dry Cider. It's not.
No,
it's not. 1080 was a good game in its context on the 64, in my opinion. Right? It's. Yeah. It is a good game, but then you play something like SSX, and it's just not in the same league. Like it's better to compare it to a series of games that was on the original PlayStation called Cool Borders.
Right.
I still think Cool Borders was better though.
So you're saying that
1080 looked great.
1080 is better than SSX?
No, not at all.
You're saying the opposite.
The exact opposite.
Good. I was really confused.
Literally the exact opposite. No. SSX was great. Tricky was the best of them all, in my opinion.
Agreed. I really liked 3, but Tricky was the. It was the fancy kind of neon and everything was in that one. The other ones were kind of more just snowboardy.
Yeah,
there was more stadium kind of to Tricky, I think.
No, it had that in 1080 as well. There was a great one in 1080 where you could just fly down a slope and come off and try and do 1080.
As many tricks as you can, yeah.
And it was very, very hard to do. You had to play it for a long time, put a lot of time in to build up your characters and stuff, and then you were able to do it. It was a good game. It was good in multiplayer as well, and I do remember putting a fair amount of hours into it, but at the time, like, I was quite young and I didn't have an awful lot of N64 games, and I had this one, so you tended to play what you had. You know, at mercy whatever your mum and dad were willing to buy you. But I like 1080 personally. Do you think it's relevant now?
Well, the only kind of snowboarding game that's came out recently was that Steep, and it didn't do too well. That was an Ubisoft title. It's fun and it's relaxing, but you don't hear people playing Steep like they're playing Rainbow Six.
No,
you know what I mean? It's Ubisoft look for titles that are going to be able to like repeat it and play it for extensive time, even though they push out so many every year. But
did Ubisoft do Steep?
Yeah, Ubisoft built Steep.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm surprised because I would associate Ubisoft with the same thing over and over again.
Ubisoft have a kind of they're kind of building into kind of more unique sports. So in Steep, you get your cliff diving, your parachuting.
Yeah, there was an awful lot in that. Actually,
and then there's also they've just at E3 there this year they spoke about a roller derby game. So like.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really funny.
I have friends that did roller derby.
Yeah, I have a friend who actually works for Ubisoft that does roller derby, and
spectacular spectator sport.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah,
it's tremendous. To watch it, it's great. I don't think I'd be able to do it.
Yeah, she had just started doing the roller derby, and she works for Ubisoft, so suddenly Ubisoft released a roller derby game.
You're not dropping names now.
Erica, I see you.
No, I don't. In the format that the 1080 was, I don't think it's relevant nowadays. There's not enough of a game there. That's the type of thing that would be tacked on to something like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, it's a big. It's an RPG's mini game.
Racing, snowboarding down a hill over Christmas time would come as a DLC in Grand Theft Auto. I can't see someone releasing a £50 game.
No, absolutely not.
on the
no. That's why Steam
possibly
didn't do
on the
so
Switch.
Well. Oh,
possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an awful lot of things that wouldn't fly on the likes of the
PlayStation 4
PlayStation or the Xbox. That you pay full price for it on the Nintendo Switch, and because it's the factor that you can take it away with you. You're happy to pay that little bit extra because
there's games that I prefer to play on the Switch as opposed to the console. So the Spyro and Crash Bandicoot trilogies that just got remade. I really love playing them on the Switch more as opposed to the actual home consoles. But they could do something like that with SSX. I think with the kind of way we're doing our remasters and. Everything else, I think SSX is a series that could be remastered and sold.
Right, well that's it. I mean, you don't have an awful lot of exposure to the 1080, but SSX you do.
Yeah.
In the same context, it's not a Nintendo IP, I know, but do you think it would be relevant if they remade an SSX and brought out a new? Put it this way: if they brought out SSX 2020, would you buy it?
Oh yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I really like.
Would you buy it? Would you buy it new?
Yeah.
Would you pay £50 for it?
I don't think they would release it as a AAA title. I think they could release it at maybe that $39.99
sort of
mark.
mid-range one,
Yeah, that kind of not AAA. But I think they could get away with doing it for $39.99. I still wouldn't pay $39.99 for it. I would wait for somebody to buy it and then put it in and then I'll buy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get it down in price.
Do you think if they brought out another 1080 and it was on the Switch, that anybody that wasn't a big Nintendo fan or wasn't, from your perspective, I guess, if a new 1080 game came out on the Switch, would you even know what it was?
I wouldn't.
Would you get excited for it? Do you think people who aren't Nintendo fans?
I wouldn't get excited for it because of its prequels. I would maybe get excited about it because it's a snowboarding game, but I would have absolutely no idea.
Very good. I mean, it's good. I can't say that I was mad in the Tony Hawk series when I was younger. Really, I loved that. And I liked a few of the. And from that, I branched out into different sort of extreme sports, and I played a lot of the BMX ones and the surfing ones and snowboarding ones and stuff like that there. But I think I'm past it now. I'm totally past it. I kind of expect more for my money.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind having an SSX game or a Tony Hawk game remade for the modern consoles because it's kind of been in drought.
No, they did. They brought out Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 and it bombed.
Really?
Yeah, nobody bought it. I don't think it was very good. I don't think Neversoft did it. I think it was brought out by Activision, but the developers were different. Yeah. So the whole thing with this as well is that Nintendo. It's hard to say, and it's going to be hard for a lot of Nintendo fans to hear, but Nintendo have had a massive fall from grace from the 80s and 90s. They were the kings. They owned the whole market was theirs pretty much. I mean, they shared it with Sega for a long part, but then they were the biggest video games company on the planet at one stage. I think maybe the GameCube was it was the start of the downfall. It kind of it brought them down a little bit.
Think about the GameCube,
and now they've had to form their own market almost because it's kind of unrealistic to expect a Nintendo console to compete with the likes of the Xbox and the PS4, even though the Switch is selling a lot better than the Xbox is.
Yeah, I think the Switch is selling a lot more because it's unique in a way,
They're very good at finding that little gap in the market, aren't they? Yeah, absolutely. But in order to bring them back to the number one, effectively, do you think a new 1080 game would do it?
No
way.
I
don't think so. No, I've got this. I'm going to ask you this for all of them.
Nintendo,
so there's going to be games where this does seem more relevant.
Nintendo would have to release a full 4K console in line with Sony, Microsoft, like whenever their next gen comes, they'd have to release something equally as good and go against their entire market of accessibility and easy to consume and play. They would have to let everybody flood their market with games that maybe they don't want. Nintendo do have this very family orientated kind of
I'm really happy
business
with Nintendo as they are. I'll be honest with you.
I wouldn't.
I love that they exist.
Nintendo have their little niche. They're good at it, and it's sustaining them really well.
I don't need another 4K console that's going to pump out the same Ubisoft games.
Exactly.
I don't need it. Don't get me wrong. The Switch has an awful lot of ports that maybe aren't great, and you're paying top dollar for games. We're banned dogs now. We're paying top dollar for games that you've played maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Like The Witcher 3's just come out, and the forums are blowing up about it. I did
the same with Doom. I bought Doom on the PlayStation 4 and for the PC, and then because it's coming to Switch. Doom's kind of.
I think I've owned Doom on almost everything.
It's hard. It's hard to do that, but I would.
It's mad. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. Yeah. All starting from DOS. God, that was mad. But Yeah, so 1080 snowboarding, big snowboarding game back on the N64. Avalanche, I can't say an awful lot about it. I think by that stage, people had started moving on, and SXX really caught the market on that one.
Yeah.
But if you have a 64, it's really cheap. You can pick this thing up loose for a couple of pounds.
Brilliant.
You know, pick it up, play it. You'll easily get a decent Friday or Saturday night out of it. Like, next is your favorite, Animal Crossing.
Let's not say it's my favorite, but it's up there. It's a good game, but it's not my favorite. I'll defend Animal Crossing, but it's not my favorite game. It's not my favorite Nintendo IP.
I'll give you a wee bit of history on this here one. So it came out on the N64 first.
Yep.
Yeah, Japan only. I didn't know that until I was doing the research. I didn't realize that the first Animal Crossing was on the N64. I think the one that you're looking at here, the GameCube 2001, is the same game.
Yeah, more than likely.
I think it is the same game, but it did come out a year early. Are you going to say what it's called on the 64?
I don't know, on the 64.
What's it called?
Dobutsu no Mori.
Well done. So it's a life simulator. It focuses on social interactions with inhabitants of this little village that you live in. You do all these sort of mundane activities like bug catching and fishing and things like that there. But it's the thing that this game had when it first came out was the use of the real world clock. So the system clock. So it would know what time of day it was, where you were, how long it had been since you were there. Brilliant. I know about this because my girlfriend played it a bit on the Wii, and she used to complain that
the mole.
They always shouted at her if she didn't play it for like 2 days in a row.
If you didn't save it, and you close your game, I'm not sure if this was on the GameCube one, but I know this is for the DS one.
I think this was the thing that launched this game. It was even on the 64.
That angry mole.
Clock,
If you didn't save your game and you closed it, and if you just kind of left without saying goodbye pretty much, you would have you would have had a mole appear. I can't remember his name, and it's annoying me. He'd come up and he would bust your balls for a good 5 or 6 minutes.
So you're a fan of this one?
Yeah, because I do what I'm told. I don't get my balls busted by the mole. I did it a couple of times. Like, I cannot do this.
Got it a few times. Like, so what's the thing that draws you in about this one?
It's a change of pace. It's boring.
Sit back on your feet up and play.
There's a little bit of drive in terms of there's a currency that you build up. You get gold, and you use that to build your house. And you kind of become invested in it. At the start, it's pretty.
Would it be fair to say this is sort of a more accessible version of The Sims?
See, Sims to me is all about city management. Sim City.
No, but I mean The Sims, where you take on the role of like a little person, and you can get married, and you run a house, and you can build your house and get a job and all that kind of stuff.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know there's a lot to The Sims, but Animal Crossing, kids could pick up and play.
I think the kind of modern equivalent to Animal Crossing that a lot more people would maybe know about is Stardew Valley. And what's it called? The Hunger Game.
Oh, you really like Stardew Valley?
I do like Stardew Valley.
About that when you played that.
They're both kind of similar. Stardew Valley is a bit more focused on the farm than Animal Crossing would be, but there's a farming aspect in Animal Crossing as well. It just becomes relaxing.
I know this.
There's a little bit of purpose.
What did you call the other one?
Life.
There was another one came out there recently.
Don't Starve. That's what I'm
thinking. No. It was an online farm simulator game where you could join in with other people's farms, and
there's farming simulator you can do.
No.
It's not farming simulator.
It's on the Switch. It was a massive one there 6 months ago. Like, it was everywhere. Why can't I remember the name of it?
I can't remember the name of it.
It'll come back to me anyway. But this one, you believe this is relevant today.
I like this. I play this. I have not got the latest one.
Have you played Happy Home Designer? That's
no,
what I want to know.
No, my sister is Happy Home Designer because that's all she does. She was so happy to see that there's a game that you can use to skip the main content of the game just to get to the home
think
designing.
Kayla would like that one because even when she plays The Sims, she just uses cheats, gets lots of money, builds houses, and then just goes and builds another one.
I didn't realize there was a mobile app.
I'll
get that downloaded and waste some time on it.
I don't know. It might be free. It might be.
It probably
most
is.
of the Nintendo ones coming out are all free.
Mario Rush and Mario Kart are both free.
Yeah.
So I think New Leaf's the latest one that I really have and really played. It's the 3DS one, and I really enjoy it. Again, me and my sister, we both have one each. So whenever it comes to, she'll build up the best apples, and I'll build up.
So and you can,
and then I'll enter her town and I'll sell my apples, and she'll sell her product as better, and we'll get like 900 as opposed to like 100 coins for our products because they're such. Yeah, they're so much better. I
didn't realize that you could do that. That there was an online or a multiplayer type aspect to it. Right? Okay. I mean, this one, I know it is a big game, but it's a big game amongst fans.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't see a new. I mean, there is a new Animal Crossing on the way, isn't there? For the
Yes,
Switch?
there's one coming for the Switch. I can't remember the name of it, but it's releasing.
Happy Friends or something.
I think it's releasing pre-Christmas 2019. So.
Oh, well, okay, so it's coming.
Yeah, usually games kind of for Christmas come around November time.
Yeah, I can't see this particular one bringing loads of people back. You know, people aren't. There's other IPs that they have that are console sellers before Animal Crossing.
Oh, absolutely. No, this won't be packaged up with a console. Those are kind of held for Mario's and your Legends of Zelda.
Yeah,
They're the games that get sold with
it
consoles.
doesn't necessarily have to be a. You know what? It doesn't have to be one that they give away with a console, but sometimes you can just get a game that just captures people, and they rush to the console. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the only place to play it. And
I suppose
Animal Crossing will be like that for Animal Crossing fans. But if you've never played the game before, I can't see kids who are sitting playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare all week.
Yeah.
You know, going, oh my god, there's an Animal Crossing coming. We'll go and get a Switch now. You know,
there's a market for it, and it's going to sell well enough for them to remake it because there is that demand for it. But it's not going to be.
It'll be interesting to see because Animal Crossing was always one of those ones that they like to test a little bit of functionality, a wee bit of innovation with it as well. Because the Wii had the speaking.
Yeah, and the little controller.
Yeah, that was the one I got. You have that one too. Yeah, I got that. I got that for Kayla. She didn't use the.
Oh, you mean the voice speakers? You can speak online. Yeah, that was really cool. That came with there was 2 on the Wii, I believe. There was the regular kind of Animal Crossing. I think it was maybe.
Her one was called Let's Go to the City. Yeah,
that's one. Let's Go to the City is the one that came with the voice.
I remember when she got to the city, she was dead excited too. There was a wee city you could walk around.
And
couple streets.
If you stuck your Wii online, you could go in and enter other people's worlds and speak to them. It's kind of almost Nintendo's first venture into voice chat.
What about Hey You Pikachu? What did you do in that?
Hey You Pikachu?
Yeah, it was an N64 Japanese exclusive, wasn't it?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's a Pokemon.
What's Hey You Pikachu?
You don't know about this?
No,
Woo!
Oh, wow.
I know about a Pokemon game. You don't. Yeah, it was on the 64. I know of this vaguely. I've never played it. I just know about it because every now and again the box appears on collectors forums and it looks really pretty, but it's usually quite expensive. And it's you get this little microphone that you can talk to Pikachu.
Wow.
Now I don't know.
Oh, to Pikachu, like
but
so it's almost like
I know, but you would have had things like X-Band back in the day that you could have set your because you could play Super Nintendo and thing online.
Yeah, you can play. I know there were certain games they did that you could play, so it wasn't like a. It wasn't like a. Oh, I've lost my train of thought. I've lost it. Oh my god!
You're good at this. So it wasn't on those ones. Now I never used X-Band. I have to be honest with you because
X-Band.
Yeah, because
so they chose the titles that they could play.
Yeah.
So X-Band was.
But was there
was a
communication,
one,
like voice communication?
Well, X-Band because
players?
it was all through the phone network. You
right.
could the way it worked was you would set your PC to hold your phone line.
Mm-hmm.
Then they would connect your phone, and whenever the game happened, your phone would ring, and you picked up the phone, and that's how the connection was made. So you were pinged to a server, and then that server brought you two together.
Right.
And the way it did that was it rang one person from the other. So it would use your phone to call that other person. The other person's phone would ring. They would pick up.
You would need a separate phone line to be able to talk to someone as well at the same time.
No, the phone line has to run through. So
yeah, no, but I mean, in order to play the game and talk at the same time.
Well, what you could do is you could just pick the phone up and shout into it, and that was your phone would register it while you were playing.
Shut up.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. So what would happen was people would play each other. Yes.
So if you're playing your stands and I can play you on the other side of the world.
If our phones connect, and because there's obviously that charge as well, so whenever you're ringing, you're still charged international rates to play this, which is crazy.
And you just pick up the phone and
you pick up the phone.
You can talk to the rest of the gamers, the ones that you're playing with.
So if they have their phone picked up, you both have your phone picked up, you can talk to each other.
There's no way. Is that really the case?
That's really the case.
Brilliant.
So whenever you're playing somebody in Street Fighter, you could, if you had your phone unhooked, you would just suddenly hear like, pick up the phone, because you beat them.
Oh yeah. That's tremendous. Never used it. I'm not even sure if it was available on the 64, but I'm sure there was some way of doing it.
I'm sure
there was.
I mean, if they're clever enough to do it for the SNES, because you know how it worked. They tricked the game into thinking it was the Player 2 port, and it was actually two instances of single player going against each other, but it was two player. The guy who was far away was Player 2, and same with him. Yeah, that's how it worked.
Wow.
It's really cool.
There you go. That's tremendous. Well done. It's good knowledge. I can't. Yeah, go back to the original Nintendo sort of venture into voice. Yeah, I think in terms of talking to other gamers, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But they did have Hey You Pikachu.
Hey You Pikachu sounds like it's a voice command to an AI that brings back.
Yeah.
Whereas the Animal
Oh yeah,
Crossing
yeah, yeah.
is-
You're
is-
talking to the game. You don't talk to other people.
Yeah, whereas
yeah,
Animal
yeah.
Crossing, you're talking to each other.
Well, the whole thing with the 64 was the local multiplayer, so you just turned and talked to the guy.
Yeah,
You know?
that was the 4 players. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's brilliant. Yeah.
But so we'll move on. That's plenty on Animal Crossing, I think. I mean, there's one coming. It's not gonna change much.
No,
But people who like it will play it.
I will pick it up at some point.
Yeah.
I never buy them at full price because I don't. I mean, Nintendo pricing's kind of ridiculous sometimes. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it can be. It can be.
I will not be paying AAA price for Animal Crossing. I will wait for it to come down and then I'll
This
buy
is
it.
the problem with the Switch games. They don't come down. They
I
just
will
don't.
wait a long time for it to come down, but even then,
Mhm.
you're still looking at maybe £10 or £15 for the Wii version of Animal Crossing,
Yeah.
and the DS ones are still £12, and they were the ones that were sold the most.
Like it's crazy to put it in the context. I went to Game a few weeks ago, and I was able to buy 4 games for the PS4 for £20.
Yeah,
Tesco were doing a deal where you can buy 2 Switch games for 60 quid,
£60,
and people
yeah.
are going mad.
that's a brilliant deal.
It's a brilliant deal, isn't it?
But only because it's a Nintendo Switch.
It's
yeah.
mad though. Like, why do the games not go
But
down
then
right?
saying if you did 2 for 60 on 2 new PlayStation 4 games, that's still a
weren't
really
new
good
games.
price.
There was Mario Kart
That's
was in
true,
it,
yeah.
and like Splatoon 2, and like launch games like
The 2 new ones that were in it were Link's Awakening and Luigi's Mansion 3.
Luigi's Mansion 3. Yeah.
I really want to get that.
I think if it's still going, you know, the next time me and her in Tesco, I think
Yeah.
we'll have to get Luigi's Mansion because
Or they have
she
to
wants
give
it.
away. I want Luigi's Mansion as well.
She wants it,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I'll maybe pick up. I'm
But
not too sure. I'll figure it out.
Pokemon Sword and Shield, so
That's everything. Like
my game
that's all
money
you
is-
need right now.
and I know if I buy those games, I won't have time for them because I'm playing Pokemon
Yeah,
Sword
yeah.
and Pokemon
Yeah,
Shield.
that's right. Yeah, it's a bit like the like Shenmue 3 is on its way, and I want to play through the first 2
The first 2
before
are
that.
on.
I'm not going to get a chance to because I'm up to my eyes and out of words
Yeah.
at the minute. Like,
The first 2 are on PlayStation Store at the minute for
Yeah.
a big. I think they're only $6.99 for 1 and 2.
okay, I have the originals on the Dreamcast. What's up? Emulation. Anyway, we'll move on. This one's going to be a weird one. I'll tell you what. I'll describe it to you and see if you can guess the name. Using the touchscreen on the DS, you've got it in front of you. I forgot about that.
I have it right in front of me.
Man, we'll see if you get it. Using the touchscreen on the DS, 3DS, and later the Wii U, this game teaches the player to sketch images using a show and copy format with easy to understand instructions. It's Art Academy.
Woo!
I like Art Academy. I do. I have to be honest. I like a bit of drawing, and there's things when I sketch, when I'm drawing, if I'm doodling or whatever. There's things I'll do that I learned playing those.
Really?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and especially when it comes
So
to
you think
shading.
it's taught you something?
Definitely,
Absolutely, yeah.
definitely. In terms of the way light hits things and how the sort of darker shades should reflect the sort of like if it's a curved surface, then the top is always going to be a lot lighter than
Right.
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
of course. Yeah.
silly things like
Yeah.
that there that you just take for granted. But when you're drawing and you're
You start thinking about
you
these
just
things.
get caught up in it and you maybe don't. You just color that all in or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm by no means an artist, so I like to just doodle.
Your
And,
doodles are quite good.
they're all right.
I'll have to show you some of those doodles.
Yeah, keep myself
We'll pop
occupied
them up
on-
on the screen.
Keep yourself occupied and work sometimes. But there was the first one of this came out in 2009. They released a whole batch of them, I think, in the first year as well. But the latest was the Wii U's 2013 one, which is the one I didn't play. I played the one on the 3DS, which actually I have to say I actually really enjoyed. I did.
Yes, if you're in the art, that's your
Yeah.
and sketching, that would be really
Yeah.
good for you. I mean, the consoles that they have are pretty accessible for doing it. The touch screens. It's very ideal for that. There's no other. There's no other company that can actually do that right now. There's
Exactly.
no other
This
company
is why
that
I
has a
think this
touchscreen
one,
game.
this one here, although it's kind of a weird one, and there's no way that I think that anybody's going to rush out and buy a Switch because of Art Academy.
This is
comes
what
out.
I was just about to say. The only other console that could do this is the Switch, and it's also Nintendo's.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, a version of this for the Switch. I would actually be quite interested in.
Yeah.
I'd give it a go. Not at 50 quid, obviously, but see for traveling, and like if you're sitting on a plane or something, it's fantastic. It really is. I don't know. Sometimes I can find myself. It's sort of hard to concentrate on a game, especially if it's quite a difficult game, and it's not comfortable to sit on a plane. Sometimes it's handier just to have something very relaxing, something like Animal Crossing. But when you've got the little, like they'll give you like a picture of an apple or something stupid, and then you just have to mimic it, really. but it takes you through it in steps.
Okay.
And it's one of those things. See, when it's done, you're surprised that you did it.
Yeah.
You
Kind
know,
of proud of yourself for
can't
doing
believe
it.
I did that. You know, it almost looks exactly the same. You know, you can take it and show it to people. Look what I drew on the Switch. They're like, I don't care.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, lovely.
Sort of melt your girlfriend out with it, but I enjoy them okay. Yeah, it is what it is. It's one of those games.
It's unique to Nintendo for sure because there's no other touchscreen consoles.
I think if Nintendo were moving away from the 3DS, which I think they are,
Yeah,
I think there is going to be.
I think that Switch Lite's a good indication of that.
There'll be something in this respect, something where, whether it's Art Academy or something else, you know, even like a stupid handwriting thing or something. I'm surprised all that kind of nonsense hasn't come out. You know, fair play to Nintendo because they have been keeping the Switch very high in terms of the quality of the games. I think.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
whereas you had something like the Wii that was just filled in an act with the biggest load of
rubbish
nonsense. Like, you know, it was so much shovelware in that game, I think it's called. You know, it's just, and it was a lot of them were this type of thing, and most of them were rubbish.
Yeah.
You know, the sort of innovative motion controls as it was then. Then now you've got the touch screens and the little pens and
even
stuff,
the Switch doesn't really use the Joy-Cons too often. So you can use the Joy-Cons as the controller for like motion.
Yeah.
I know Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu.
Yeah.
The way you call Pokemon, well, one of the options to catch Pokemon was to take the Joy-Con and use it as your arm, and that would register you throwing the Pokeball
Like
because
you're
it's
whipping.
yeah.
Pikachu.
Well, no, let's not get down there. Let's not get down.
Doesn't have to work for me, boy.
No,
are they not your slaves? No, I thought they were. No,
okay, let's not go down that route.
Okay. I thought that's what you did with Pokemon. You just had a wee army of slaves that you could make fight for you.
Somebody call Peter.
Huh?
Call Peter.
Are they animals?
No, they're Pokemon.
Yeah.
They're pocket monsters.
Pocket monsters.
That's the end
there
of
that.
There
you go. Okay. Yeah, Art Academy, it is what it is. Let's move on. So, Bayonetta, or sorry, actually no Bayonetta's coming next. A better one, in my opinion, is coming before it. Honestly, Balloon Fight. Have you ever played Balloon Fight?
I've never played Balloon Fight, but I'm going to take a jab and say it's Nintendo's Joust.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just from the names you can kind of tell.
It is.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, that's exactly what it is.
Just out of curiosity, are the sprites like people holding balloons with like a little point, and that's how you pop the balloons? Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
Never played it.
You've bound to have seen
Never
it. You haven't
played
just
it. Never
made
seen
that
it.
up. Why so? Shut up. No, Balloon Fight was one of the original NES games that came on one of the black box cartridges.
Right.
Do you remember Nintendo started bringing out a lot of games? Because I think I remember reading a thing one time that it was, I don't know, it was Miyamoto or somebody from Nintendo didn't like the way that Atari games or Sega games or whatever else would have this really elaborate artwork.
Yeah.
You know, but it didn't showcase what the game actually was. When you turned the game on, you went, God, this had the mass. Like that game Barbarian with Wolf from Gladiators in front of it.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen that game, it doesn't look like the way, you know what I mean?
Imagine it would.
So they started releasing a lot of games. So the original Mario Bros. Was one, Excite Bike, and it actually has a sort of screen from the game on the front cover, which is really good, I thought.
Yeah, that is.
Balloon Fight was great. And there was a later one came out on what was it on? Was it the Game Boy? There was one. No, it was the NES had the 2-player one. Yes, and it was a little fight, and you had 3 balloons.
Yeah.
And one guy had red balloons, and one guy had blue balloons. And the first playing game was really, really difficult, I'll be honest, for me when I was younger. But the multiplayer was it was great. It was really, really
Playing
fun.
against your friend.
It's the closest thing to. Do you know Mario Kart with the 3 balloons?
Yes.
And it's that kind of idea.
Mode,
you know, as you get hit, you lose your balloons and stuff. But there's all the little enemies flying around and things, and you can get hit by other things. At its time, Balloon Fight was tremendous. I really enjoyed it. I can't imagine if they brought out a new one today, it would need a serious overhaul. Like
that kind of it's too simple now. Although saying that, well, no, it's too simple. That's it.
I honestly can't fathom how they could flesh the game out to turn it into.
It could maybe be a reasonable mobile game.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they could make a lot of money out of it that way.
Yeah, a little mobile game that you maybe sell for 89p.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, I think Balloon Fight's one of those games that, I mean, it did come out in the Game Boy as well, but Arden, you know, you're talking 1984 the original came out, and then the Game Boy one was like 90. So, I mean, they haven't went near this for 30 years.
Yeah, this is a dead IP.
I think so.
I think it was just a combat to Joust.
Yeah, it's gonna resurface in the same way as Joust resurfaces. It's gonna be on, like, you know, classic arcade games of the 1980s. You know,
or it's going to make an appearance in Ready Player One, the book, not the movie.
or
just to clarify, it was
yeah.
I mean, the joystick fight, not the
in
movie.
the same way as Shenmue did with the old Sega games, where you could go into the arcade and play Space Harrier and things like that. I could see that reappearing in
absolutely.
You know, in a Nintendo RPG. Like if they ever did I don't know, like a new Children of Mana or something like that there, and you could go into an arcade and play, and Balloon Fight was there. I could totally see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's other games that were around at that time, like Excite Bike, that did see a sequel. I think we'll come on to that at some stage. But there was an Excite Bike came out for the 64. I was surprised even around, because at that time you got a lot of games for the 64 that surprised me, like Robotron 64, which is actually a really, really good game, but it's not that far detached from the original game. It's still just you running around a grid shooting bodies and 8 directions. You know, it's sort of like a twin stick shooter before twin stick shooters existed. You know, it's you use the C buttons. It's really, really good. Brilliant on the arcade as well. It just had better graphics, 3D, and it looked like a 64 game. I'm surprised the Balloon Fight didn't reappear around about the 64 generation at some stage, and then from there could be a stepping stone to something else. At this point, it would if they were to bring out another Balloon Fight, if they were going to reignite that IP, it would have absolutely no resemblance to the original game.
No.
So what's the point?
Well,
you know? I
don't know. I think if you took a game like that 3D, it wouldn't be great anyway. And
it wouldn't have that big. It wouldn't have the name either. Like even if you brought it in, it was you called it Balloon Fight 3D Switch or whatever. You know, they like to do that. You know, stick the Switch in the end, something like that. There. I don't think many people would even know what it was.
No, absolutely not.
You know, but I would like to see it. I'd like to see some kind of reincarnation of it in some way, because I do remember playing 2-player, and I do remember really enjoying it.
I would just play Joyce.
4-player, you know, would be great, and if you were able to play it online, and you could have like maybe 30 of you.
There's this is really bad actually. There's a game that's quite like it actually. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's basically I think it's called Bum Willies.
Bum Willies?
I think it's called Bum Willies.
For real?
There's 4. You play online. You play as a Willy, and your wee.
When you're talking, I'm gonna look this up. This can't be real. This can't be real.
Your wee ball sack is where you have to try to get your little.
Are
Willy
we seriously talking about this? My God.
That's the aim of the game, is to penetrate somebody else's ball sack, and that's how you beat them, by penetrating. And
it's not called that, Gareth.
What's it called?
I'm gonna get my ISP is gonna shut me down. I'm not googling any further.
Or Willy Fight or something like that, but don't Google that.
No, definitely not. Yeah, God, that would be a minefield. No, Balloon Fight, I really enjoyed it. I'd have to say, I liked it back then. I couldn't care less if they brought out a new one. I would be happy to see it. It's not going to happen. Let's be honest. The next one's Bayonetta. Bayonetta is a third-person hack-and-slash game, similar to Devil May Cry, if you've ever played that. It's actually made by Sega, but it's owned by Nintendo now. Did you know they made an anime movie of Bayonetta?
Yes, I did.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I think I would have a fair amount of interest to watch it. Yeah, I would like it. Yeah. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. No. But I would have an interest in watching it, because the Bayonetta kind of lore and actual gameplay doesn't really interest me, but the kind of art style and
the gameplay.
The
gameplay's everything, isn't it?
Yeah, just more. I would more enjoy watching it than I would playing it. I think Bayonetta.
I could understand that.
That's why the anime movie interests me, because you're going to put the story to an animation.
Yeah,
it's quite good.
Now, for me, it was the gameplay in the Devil May Cry games. It was always the gameplay. It was Devil May Cry sort of exploded at a time where that type of game was really, really popular. I mean, there was Legacy of Kain around about that time, and PS2 you had, you know, things like God of War and stuff came along, and there were all these mad hack and slash games, you know. And then Bayonetta, to be honest with you, when I first played it, I thought that the gameplay felt a little bit dated.
Right. In
the same way as new Devil May Cry games. When I play them, I kind of feel like, you know, I'm
like
bored.
Maybe early God of War games.
Maybe. Yeah. No, I'll give you that, because if they hadn't have remade God of War in the way that they had, if they'd have done what Microsoft did with Gears of War 4 and just brought out another game that was the same as God of War 3, people would just went, what's the point?
Whereas the new God of War I find to be very fluid.
That's amazing.
You can make sense of everything before you do it. You can almost like envision ahead of yourself, and that's what makes it so much more readable, because you as a player are able to kind of think about what you're doing next and you get the time to do it. They kind of whenever you swing, it's a little bit slower than what it should be.
Oh god, yeah.
And that gives you the time to kind of think about if your attack's going to hit, if you should dodge, and what's next. You know.
I don't know. I found it a wee bit like sort of Dark Souls light.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
it's not as unforgiving as Dark Souls
absolutely
is.
not.
But
No,
in
Dark
terms
Souls
of the,
is terrifying.
but I find that the combat was just as immersive. But we're getting off topic. The Bayonetta itself is very, very frantic.
Yeah,
it's not like that. It's not. It's one of those things where you will do. For me anyway, when I play these games, as you get further into the game, you develop a sort of style of play or a series of moves that you feel are effective. And the more and more and more you play the game, you tend to just knock these out without even thinking what you're doing. You'll do button combinations that are built into your muscle memory. You won't. It's not like we're in something like God of War, Dark Souls, something like that. There, if you attack, the next button you press it'll be 100% based on what's happening in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll look at it with your eyes and then command the game. Whereas in Bayonetta, you're go bum, 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 bum,
smashing the buttons and not really know what's going to happen.
Because a lot of it is because that it's a wee bit. It's sort of. I mean, the main character has to be a little bit OP, I guess, but you can destroy enemies. I mean, you can go in and just absolutely annihilate them without them hitting you. Whereas the gameplay in something like God of War is a little bit slower, so you can't really just fly in and start hitting all the buttons because he doesn't move as quickly as you're hitting the buttons, and therefore, they can get little hits into you, and it's not the way they play the game. But with Bayonetta, you can definitely do that, and there's a real addictive element to that. There's like a...
No, I agree. It's, to me, it's like Metal Gear Rising.
I haven't played that.
It's just Bayonetta, but Metal Gear, I think.
Really?
Yeah, well, pretty similar, because...
I heard that people didn't like it.
No, I didn't like Metal Gear Rising, but I played through it because it's Metal Gear. If it wasn't a Metal Gear game and it was just Bayonetta, I would enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? It's fairly similar. It's just because it was Metal Gear and it was so out of character for it.
Yeah.
Like a hack and slash Metal Gear, like, what's going on?
It's good.
Metal Gear is a stealth game.
I like that. I like that type of that gameplay.
It's chaotic.
It is.
It's a fun chaotic.
But it's funny. I don't rush out to buy those type of games.
No,
they're ones that I'll pick up on the cheap, and when I get home, it'll just be everything for a weekend. That kind of thing. It's wow, this game's so good. And then when it's over and done with, you're back on to playing your normal, Western style games.
Yeah.
And you do kind of forget about them, but it's only in things like this that you start to appreciate how good they actually are. I haven't played the second one. I played the first one. And if I was going to sum it up in a couple of lines, it would be Devil May Cry with a very promiscuous lady.
Yeah.
Who uses her hair and her clothes as weapons.
Yes.
Yeah. It's good.
It's good. It's a fun game.
Do we need a third one?
No.
Yes,
it would sell.
Yes, we do. I want another Bayonetta. Yes, absolutely. The second one came out on the Wii U, I think. Well, it came out on the Switch, but it was a Wii U game.
Yeah.
So in terms of Nintendo anyway, it's sort of last gen. Like
Bayonetta made the appearance in Smash as well. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, right enough.
She's in Smash.
Is there anything else? I feel like
we're missing something.
Maybe it's. I mean, it's hard to tell nowadays with the Nintendo, especially with Nintendo sports games. They throw the odd one in, don't they? Like, yeah. I mean, I can't say that if they brought out Bayonetta 3, suddenly people are going to start switching off their PS4s and rushing out and grabbing a Nintendo Switch. But it's a great, it's a good series, and I don't know. I've got a soft spot for Sega. I always have.
Yeah,
I mean, I grew up with that sort of stuff. But and it's great just seeing a Sega logo on a game box.
Yeah,
that makes me happy.
Just
to know they're still there, and they're making hardware.
They're making.
As well.
I think Sega's best game at the minute is Yakuza.
It might be their biggest franchise actually at the minute. Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
it's really coming out, and
we've got Nintendo fanboys screaming at their computers here. What are you talking about? Sega IPs, it's Nintendo IPs. But yeah, Bayonetta's a good one. So next is a good one too. Brain Training. Yeah, I mean,
I can't remember. I'm not even going to try.
No, Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training.
I really enjoyed those. They were pretty good.
Do you know what I used them for? This is so. It's bad. So, where I work, if you want to progress, you have to do aptitude tests. So if you do an aptitude test and you do well, you progress in your role, you move up grades or whatever, right? And these little aptitude tests are exactly the same as the test that Brain Training give you, does, right? And if you want to pass these, it's impossible to study for this sort of thing because it is literally just your aptitude for this particular subject. There's spatial awareness, numerical accuracy, things like that. And Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training, I maintain, got me through my level 3 board. Yeah. Because I played it non-stop.
I completely believe that.
I tried to find as many aptitude tests as I could online and was striking out. I was going to all the government aptitude tests, things like this, to try and get as many as I could, and I rinsed them all. and it was my brother had brain training, and I sat and played it one night, and I thought, this is exactly what I need. And I sat and played it, and I got so good, and my brain, the age was getting up and up and up and up, and I went in and I blitzed that thing.
Brilliant. Yeah.
But the funny thing is, if you put me down in front of those tests now, I'd probably fail them.
Yeah, well, it takes you a while to get back into it. It is something that you can just train your brain to do. That's why it's called brain training, because...
Is it?
Yeah, that is why it's called brain training. Actually, and it does actually work, as you proved with your board.
I've never played the Sudoku version. I don't think I would like it.
I like Sudoku.
Really?
I do like Sudoku. Yeah. God. It comes on all the kind of... It came on my OnePlus and it came on my Huawei as well. So
really?
Yeah, they're both on it.
Just on it, right? Okay.
And whenever I went on holiday, I didn't have any games on my phone for whatever reason.
So
I think I just got a new phone.
Sudoku?
So I just sat and played Sudoku, and I had a great time.
It's mad. Anytime I go away on holiday, my bag is full of games.
I brought the Switch with me, and I
mobile
actually didn't
consoles
bring the
with
Switch
me.
out once.
Really?
Really? I actually didn't bring the Switch out one time.
It's funny you say that, because when I was at Play Expo in May, I brought my DS with me, and I brought the Switch, and I had Yoshi's Crafted World, and I had on the DS, I had Yoshi's Island from the SNES. It's Mario World 2, effectively. And I didn't complete it because it's a fairly big game, but I played right into the very end of it. Yoshi's Island, never touched Yoshi's Crafted World. Didn't turn my Switch on once. Played the DS Lite the entire time I was away, and I've got a Switch in the bag.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about a Brain Age on the Switch? Yeah.
I suppose it's not.
Actually, I could stick it on the Nintendo store for 99p. You'd pull it down and you'd maybe play it when you were out and about. Like,
you'd probably get $7.99 out of it as Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. It would have been, no, look, it is what it is. That wee game.
If you enjoy puzzles and genuinely just kind of, I don't know, it was originally marketed for older people to get
them into the DS, and it worked.
Yeah, it absolutely did.
Yeah, anyone I know that had a DS that was over the age of 25 had brain training.
Yeah,
definitely.
My granda has my red DS, and the only thing he has in it is brain training. He does it every single day.
He plays it every day?
He plays the DS version of it.
Wow.
Every single day for maybe 10 years now. And I'm not joking.
Your granda's a gamer?
Yeah, my granda's a gamer,
there you go. That's it. Look, hey, bringing out the Switch will probably do okay. But the only drawback with this type of game that I always felt was that when you're traveling, if all you're going to do is play Sudoku, or if all you're going to do is do little sort of numerical quizzes or something like that, right? Why would you bring a £300 piece of kit with you when you can buy a little book in the shop for £3? And then if somebody comes up and snatches it out of your hand when you're on the other side of the world, what do you So yeah, your Switch is at home.
My £2 book.
Yeah, you know, I think it's a wee bit of a false economy, but it is what it is. I mean, you can make a game out of anything, and Nintendo do. To be fair to them, and it'll sell.
These brain training games don't have to do well for Nintendo.
Yeah,
they're not games they put a lot of time and development into. This is just more of a maintenance now. Whenever there's a new console, you brain train them.
Yeah,
and it works. People buy it. It's not really what they're looking for. They're looking to make their money back, but they're not looking to make Mario or Zelda money.
No, of course.
Yeah,
I know, but it's one of those games that brings people in that maybe wouldn't be playing it always.
It hits a different market.
So, have you ever played any of the cruis'n titles?
No.
Do you know what they are?
They're car games, right?
Yeah, they are. Now, the only exposure to these I have is the N64. To give you an idea, a lot of people might not know this. There's five cruis'n games: Cruis'n USA, Cruis'n World, Cruis'n Exotica, Cruis'n Velocity, and Cruis'n, which was just cruising. That was on the way, just cruising. Yeah, you didn't even race; you just rode really slow. You know,
Sunday drives in your Citroen Picasso.
Give your enemies the fingers, as you're driving past.
Just cruising.
No, I played Cruis'n USA on the N64, and I played Cruis'n World. After that, I honestly didn't know that there's any more that existed.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I'm telling you a lie. I knew that Exotica was there. I'm fairly certain Exotica is a really expensive game.
It's an N64 game as well, but it was also put to the Game
Boy.
Boy.
Game Boy, yeah.
So I would say that would come towards the end of the N64's kind of lifestyle or lifespan.
The Exotica one must be.
And that's
must
why
have been.
I
didn't
bought that often. So
yeah,
smaller market. More
it's a
demand.
bit like there was a game called San Francisco Rush, and then there was a San Francisco 2049, I think it was called.
Right.
And it was an Australian PAL exclusive for the N64, and I'm fairly certain it's like the third most valuable game for the 64.
Right. Okay.
Snowboard Kids 2 and StarCraft 64, maybe are the two
StarCraft 64
are
would be.
are
I
the
think
big
it
ones,
would
like
be, yeah.
because they're Australian PAL exclusives. That was the only
The
place you could get them.
StarCraft,
Yeah,
really?
It was the only place you could get them. So
Wow.
they're super rare, really expensive,
Yeah,
really expensive. And I think
I'm surprised in StarCraft.
yeah, it's just because there's not that many about. I mean, yeah, it kind of you kind of find that like Snowboard Kids 2, it's a fun game, it's okay. Cruis'n San Francisco 2049, again, it's all right. I've only ever played it in emulator. It's an okay game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not going to pull up any trees. If you want to own this game, you want to own it for its exclusivity, not because it's a game that you must play before you die type of thing, you know. But like the cruising games were good for what they were at the time. The 64 had an awful lot of ones. That MRC, the Top Gear games, the San Francisco game, and aside from the 3D adventure games like Banjo-Kazooie and Conquer, Mario 64, things like that there, this is where I feel that the N64 really excelled in its racing games. It was really good for its time. The 64 bits, the amount of extra memory that you had going on there, it just, what you would have found in racing games that were on the PlayStation at the time, which were very good as well, things started to warp as they get closer to the screen. But that didn't really happen with the N64, so you got a much more sense of fluid motion.
I think a lot of N64 games were actually 60 frames per second.
Oh, really?
So I think F-Zero was 60 frames per second.
On the SNES or on the 64? Really? F-Zero X?
I think so.
Wow.
And there was a few other ones that were, I cannot remember them right now, but there was a lot of N64 games that were stuck at 60 FPS, and that's why the racing games were so good, is because you got ones that were just 60 frames per second. And we do know the big difference now between 60 and 30. You can tell whenever you go back to PlayStation 3, big time. This is
PC gamers know more than console gamers, I think.
Well, I'm now in the 144 master race.
Yeah, I know. Now the cruising games were okay. They were standard racing games. They could, I mean, if Nintendo were to put it this way, Forza Horizon is a console seller for Microsoft. I would buy an Xbox just to play Forza. It is incredible. Forza Horizon 4 is easily the best racing game I've ever played. It's fantastic. If Nintendo were to bring back the cruis'n USA or cruis'n whatever, brought that back and created the same type of thing, that immersive open world where you can go in, because in Forza you can own property, you can run businesses. It's not just a racing game.
It's like Underground 2.
It's
more
it's a
than
lot
Underground
more
2,
like, it's all centered around this big festival and stuff, you know, so it has this sort of believable backdrop and stuff, and then it uses really interesting locations. So the latest one was in the UK, which we can all relate to, which was fabulous. Then you'd one, I think 2 was in like the south of France, northern Italy, and it's just beautiful, you know, really good. The little things like barn finds, so you find all these cars. Yeah. So if Nintendo were going to do something like that, and they could use like a huge open world map, make it online, you know, make it
I'd get into that.
You know, and I genuinely think, done in the right way, cruising, not necessarily only cruising, any racing game that they own the rights for in that sort of sense. Cruis'n World Tour on the Switch, fully
decked out,
fully multiplayer with a massive map where you could just get involved in all sorts of things. I think that could sell consoles.
I really enjoyed that with the crew, so I would get behind that.
I think that would sell consoles.
Yeah.
I don't know
if it would sell consoles.
Oh, I do.
No,
I mean, if Forza can sell Xboxes, why not?
I don't know.
Yeah, it can.
I don't know. Nintendo's driver game that sells consoles, Mario Kart.
You know, I get that, but Mario Kart is a very... It's in its own league in terms of racing games. Like, you wouldn't put it up against something like Forza or Gran Turismo.
Games,
totally.
Gran Turismo, Forza, and then I guess there's a gap for Nintendo cruising.
Totally. I mean, for me at the minute, the best racing game I've played outside of Mario Kart on the Switch is the Asphalt something or. Do you know that one? It's basically just a mobile game. It was a mobile copy of Need for Speed.
Crash Team Racing.
And then it's good, but it's the same as Mario Kart.
It's the same as Mario Kart, yeah.
But it's very good. And there's one called Grip, which was okay. I think Onrush came out on the Switch as well, did it?
I'm not sure.
And it was mediocre.
Probably.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But these are third-party games, you know. But Nintendo could definitely... I think there's a little gap in Nintendo's IPs at the minute to come out with a big, realistic racer
Cruising
that just
World Tour.
sucks you right in.
That's the title. Nintendo, we own it. Come speak to us.
There's no World Tour yet, you're right. It would be called Cruis'n Switch. Or Switch cruising. That's what it'd be, Switch
And the
cruising.
steering wheel's the Joy-Cons.
Oh,
like
aye.
Mario Kart
Absolutely,
style.
yeah. But it would be like a Ferrari steering wheel.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Like a real racing steering wheel
an
with little
F1
buttons on it.
F1 wheel, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen the new Mario Kart steering wheels they brought out? There's two. There's a blue and red one and a black and red one.
No.
Honestly, the blue and red one is disgusting. It looks like a Playmobil thing.
Right.
But
yeah.
the black and red one is like everything.
It's cool.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's so nice. And it's
Okay.
a proper little steering wheel. You know, it's not. It's a steering
It's a
wheel.
steering wheel.
You know, when it's stuck there like a wee bottom and all.
Oh, right.
It's a steering
Okay.
wheel.
It's not just the Joy-Con stuck into the thing. It's like an actual.
Oh, it might be. Now I think about it, it might be. I don't know. Is the short answer. I can find out very, very quickly, but you'll have to kind of bear with me. But no, I think we're onto something there with cruising. I think cruising could do well for
back,
them. Yeah. The only thing is that it wasn't actually developed by Nintendo. It was developed by Midway. So
Okay.
Midway are gone now. Isn't that right?
Probably. Most games
The-
company from that kind of era have disappeared.
Yeah.
Bless them. I mean, there was a release for the Wii in 2007, so that I guess
Yeah,
could
but
have
Midway,
been
it
there.
wasn't that long ago that they went there. They were behind Mortal Kombat, anything with digitized graphics. Pretty
Okay.
much anything. Midway were mad for this. They bought all. Remember the wrestling games that
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
in your house and the wrestling arcade game and stuff, and it was
Yeah.
digitized graphics. Yeah, they were mad for
Midway.
that sort of thing. Like, you know, but what do we see here now? Here we go. Sorry about this. I should have had this before, I think. Yeah, they went out of business in 2010. But I was meant to be Googling something else, and I'm not going to. I'm just
Okay,
going
we'll
to
just move on with it. Yeah.
We'll just move on. But yes, cruising, Nintendo, do something with it.
Cruis'n World Tour.
Definitely do something with it. It doesn't even have to be called cruising. Just call it whatever. Like
Just an open world racing
Gran
game.
Turismo Switch.
Gran Turismo Switch.
You know, anything. Do you know, that's something.
Switch Turismo.
Look, I'll be completely honest. I'm gonna just bear with me here a second, because I think, you know, we need to congratulate ourselves a wee bit. I didn't actually think we would find that, because Nintendo were fairly good here.
Yeah,
and there is a few other IPs that they haven't done as much with that they shouldn't have done. I genuinely didn't think we would come across a game whereas if it was brought back again and done in the correct way, that it could push consoles out the door, and I definitely think that could.
I don't know if it would push consoles out the door.
I
I'm a doubter. I'm a doubter.
How-
But it's definitely a gap
But
in the
Forza's
market.
doing it for the Xbox. How can it? Why did it not do it for the Switch?
Because that's not what you buy a Switch for.
Why not?
No, it just wouldn't.
I don't know.
The Switch is. I don't think the Switch.
Also, because
I don't think the Switch hits the AAA title mark as well as the other two.
no,
The Switch
that's
has struggled
true.
with its AAAs. There's always performance issues. When you undock it, you have performance issues. Even when it's docked,
Yeah.
sometimes there's performance
That's a
issues.
fair point. That's a
The
fair point.
developers
I'll
have
argue
pushed it to the max,
with that.
and they haven't really taken in wear and tear.
So you end up with horrible frame rates and really bad resolution and stuff like that. There, yeah.
Well, the resolution's always going to be bad.
But the thing is, have you seen The Witcher 3 running docked?
I actually haven't seen it
It's
running.
Perfect.
Really?
Pretty much perfect.
I know the resolution was very small, and that's what put me
Yeah,
off.
I
It was
mean,
something like
the-
767 by 568 or something
the-
stupid.
you see
Something
the-
really small.
in terms of like just life and, you know, objects in the world, it's quite sparse.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest, you know, you're walking through a field and you put a screenshot of a PS4 next to it. I mean, you're going to have trees missing. You're going to have
Yeah,
like bushes
really.
missing, parts of gates missing, things like that.
Just
there.
to bring all the file size down and
I assume so. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
what they have to do. I think it's an amazing achievement to get it onto the Switch, you know?
yeah.
And I don't know what it's like undocked. Because when I seen it, it was in a shop. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what it's like undocked. I am going to buy it because I'm a
Really?
weirdo, and
You're gonna buy it?
I'm probably going to buy the special edition as well.
I really like The Witcher.
Just to have it. It won't be to play it. I mean, I've got
Just
it for the
to have it.
PS4. I've got the
Yeah,
collector's
I
edition
really,
for the
really
PS4.
like The Witcher. I really enjoyed it. It took me a long time to get into it, but I don't regret any minute of it.
Oh, Jesus, amazing.
But we're getting off topic.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
Right, so we're on Donkey Kong.
Brilliant.
Who doesn't know what Donkey Kong is?
Donkey Kong's great.
Yeah. We're just going to include everything. All the Donkey Kongs all in
Donkey
one.
Kong Arcade. So
Yeah, the original Donkey Kong
That's the-
games. Yeah.
that's strange that was the original Donkey Kong game, isn't it?
Well, not at the time. It wasn't. It's since then, because Rare got their hands on it, and Rare turned it into wow.
Wow,
Donkey Kong
yeah.
Country is just amazing. Like
Yeah.
I'll be honest, as a kid, I didn't have any interest in Donkey Kong at all because the game was too hard.
Yeah.
For me, it was too difficult. When I was younger and I played it on the NES, Didn't really like it. I remember playing. I can't remember whether it was Donkey Kong Jr. or Donkey Kong 3, but the one where you have to go across the vines. And you play as like Donkey Kong Jr. It's the second one, You play as the and you the nappy and all. And you have to save Donkey Kong, and it's the same basic format. You keep doing the same couple of levels over and over again. I found that one wee bit more forgiving, but I still wouldn't say I was a fan of it. It wasn't until I seen Donkey Kong Country on the SNES with the gameplay, with
the music,
the animation, and the music.
The music's brilliant. Everybody loves the music.
The music is just spectacular.
It's wonderful.
It's up there with.
It's upbeat. It's cheerful. It's memorable. Like even talking about it is running through my head.
Yeah, absolutely. I always remember the little the tune when you go into the special bonus caves and you get all the things. See that little tune? Yeah. It's so nice. It's such a nice little melodic tune. I would have that as my ringtone. It's so good. Like I'd play it in the car. But yeah, I mean Donkey Kong Country's up there with the. Like
some of the best side-scrolling games,
but I mean, in terms of the sound, F-Zero sound was spectacular as well. A lot of the ones on the Mega Drive as well. Streets of Rage was fantastic. Street Fighter,
absolutely.
Donkey Kong Country was amazing.
Really,
really good. Donkey Kong 64, I wasn't a massive fan. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a bad game. It definitely wasn't a bad game. It was a very good game, but out of the big adventures,
it's the one that forced the expansion pack, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. So there was I think there was a glitch in the game. There was a bug in the game that they couldn't remove.
It is by upgrading the RAM.
Without upgrading the RAM. So therefore the upgrade of the RAM came, and then obviously a lot of games came after that and taking advantage of it. Most games that took advantage of it, it wasn't exclusive. You didn't have to have it.
Yeah.
So you'd get a lot of games. I mean, we were playing the 64.
It's like the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 4 Pro. Some games will take advantage of the
a
Pro.
Bit like a bit like that. Yeah. We played Command and Conquer, I think, and it comes up and says it says expansion pack detected, and then tells you will be able to view this game in higher resolution or something like that, and then you move on. But if you just play it with normal, the game still plays. You just don't get that message at the start, and it's not quite as. And in actual fact, for an original Command and Conquer game on the 64, I know this is not to do it. Play it; it's great.
Yeah,
it's really good, and it looks lovely. It's polygonal rather than sprites. It's very, very nice. But Donkey Kong 64 for me, it was. You had Conker's Bad Fur Day, you had the Zelda games, you had Mario 64. I mean, it was chock full of these really, really good 3D adventure games. Banjo-Kazooie. Of the big ones, the big first-party Nintendo ones, I think Donkey Kong was the weakest of them all.
Yeah,
that's not saying it's a bad game, definitely not. But I don't think.
I would agree.
It wasn't as good as the rest of them.
I wouldn't get as excited about a Donkey Kong game. Well, now I would probably get more excited about a Donkey Kong game because it's been a while.
Well, no, they brought out Tropical Freeze for the. There was Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii, and then they brought out Tropical Freeze for the Wii U, but then they re-released it for the Switch as well.
Oh, have they?
That is a rock-solid game.
Yeah,
it
is. I really enjoyed it. I played it on the Wii U and really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. But it's been now a while since we've had a new one.
You could do with
I would get more excited about a new one now than I would have.
Would you rather it was
5 or 6 years ago?
Well, okay, you've got a choice of 3. Would you rather it was Donkey Kong Arcade, Donkey Kong Country, or Donkey Kong 64 style?
Country.
Totally.
Every time.
100% agree.
Yeah, every time.
100% agree. I'm not saying they couldn't do a 3D Donkey Kong. Because Mario and Rabbids, right?
Yeah, really fun game.
You see the Donkey Kong expansion pack for that?
Uh-huh.
It's brilliant.
Really?
Donkey Kong is so good. The stuff that he does, things that no other, but he can pick up barrels and carry them around and swing on veins and things like that other people can't do. So you can get up out the level. But it's a lot of little formats that were used in that could be attributed to a 3D Donkey Kong game. They could even do flesh out a 3D Donkey Kong game with the rabbits, because there's a really good character. The Rabbit Kong is
it's really good.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Ubisoft and Nintendo did a really good job with that.
Absolutely.
A really good job with that. That was one of the best crossover games I've seen in a long time, to be honest with you.
That got me playing XCOM. I had never played XCOM.
XCOM was a wonderful game. I really enjoy XCOM.
It's not as forgivable.
It is absolute bullshit that you can be 95% accurate, and every single time you get that 5%. Every
shoot them right in the face. 95%.
Yeah, your gun will be a millimeter off their face.
You either hit them or you don't. It's either 100% or 0, surely, isn't it? Yeah. Unless you're aiming for like a specific part of his eyebrow. I don't know. But no, XCOM, I loved it. But it was the Donkey Kong expansion pack for that was just great. I'm not saying that they could definitely do a new
the rabbits,
yeah. They could definitely they could definitely do a 3D Donkey Kong on the Switch, definitely, and it would sell and it would be very good. And but if Rare made it,
if it was another country and it was a new one, I'd buy it.
Oh yeah, I mean the Rare didn't make the Returns or the Tropical Freeze, they're owned by Microsoft now.
Yeah.
So if they were going to do a 3D one, I mean, Zelda Breath of the Wild wasn't made by Rare, so it's incredible.
It's a really good game, yeah.
So it's not like they're the only ones that could do it.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if Nintendo didn't do it themselves, who they would get to do it, but it could be done, a 3D one. But yeah, I would be far more excited for a new Donkey Kong Country. Do you know what put me off Tropical Freeze for a long while?
What's that?
Because it's focused on the freeze part of it.
Oh, right.
And freeze levels in platform games are notoriously awful.
Slide everywhere.
Yes.
You
but it's not like that. If you haven't played it, it's not like that. Go and play the game. It's brilliant. It really is. There is slightly bits in it, of course there is, but it's not the entire game. It's not the entire game.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Tropical Freeze. I really enjoyed Country as well.
Would it push consoles out the door? I think it would. It's definitely relevant. There's definitely Donkey Kong fans out there.
I mean, the Mario and Rabbids was able to push it out, so I would put it at the same level as the Mario and Rabbit game. So yeah, I would say yes. But
then Mario and Rabbids came down in price very quickly because it was.
This is the thing.
It was more a third-party game.
It wouldn't push. So you have consoles that get released at like 230 with the game, like a Zelda and Mario Odyssey 230, and you'd have a game like.
So this would be a free game with your console?
This would always be a free game with your console,
Right,
or
okay.
like maybe £5 or £10 extra.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be it would sell consoles, but it would be a nice have. It'd be like that one your mum and dad get you for Christmas, and then they get you your main game.
I was going to say, they would give you it away as digital as opposed to physical, but they don't give you physical games.
Nintendo haven't done that since their 2DS, isn't it? That was the first. No, 3DS. The original 3DS was the kind of first ones that they released with virtual software pre-built onto it.
Yes,
and then whenever you factory reset it, you still keep that.
Yes, absolutely. I bought the Mario Bros 2DS for my wee nephew.
Yeah, my sister's has got the Animal Crossing one, so
yes, absolutely. I've seen that. Yeah. No, I got the Smash Switch, and it didn't have a physical copy of the game. This was around about the same time that you got your Red Dead Redemption PlayStation.
Yeah.
And the Red Dead Redemption PlayStation wasn't the Red Dead Redemption PlayStation. It was just you got the game with it.
Yeah.
But even then, you still got a physical copy.
Yeah, you got.
Yeah,
they're very.
I got the actual Smash Switch, but you don't get a game. It's
you don't.
No,
I didn't know that.
So as far as I'm concerned, I don't actually own. I mean, I do,
but you don't
because I collect video games. But if you ask me, do you have Smash for the Switch? No, I do. It's on my Switch and I can play it.
You've got the Smash Switch as well.
But you
don't have the physical copy, and therefore it's not yours.
I'm a bit old school that way. I need to have these in physical copy, and that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I was really excited that my girlfriend bought me for Christmas, so I wasn't about to start complaining. But when I got the thing up the stairs and I had a wee sort of quiet muttering under my breath, I wasn't happy about it. I think a Donkey Kong game would definitely push consoles out the door. I don't think it's too far away. I mean, I can't imagine throughout the life cycle of the Switch that they won't push out another Donkey Kong game. Yeah, there's no way. It's barely worth talking about that one, to be honest with you. It's too prominent as it is.
I think we should take a little break.
Sure.
Yeah. We'll come back. Break, I guess. So we'll be back in a minute. Hello and welcome back. We're back from our break. We, to the audio listeners, you'll know it was no difference at all. But the video watchers, you'll notice that we're completely different clothes, and the camera angle's probably different. It's 5 days later. But anyway, let's we're gonna get back into the Nintendo IPs, where we're talking, or just about to move on to Dr. Mario.
Yeah, I like Dr. Mario.
Yeah, Dr. Mario is okay. No, I don't particularly like it. I never really got on with it.
There's loads of it's like it is like Tetris, but it's more like sort of Puyo Puyo or columns, things like that. There,
yeah.
It's about matching colors.
I was always
the same thing. Like.
I've always been a Tetris fanboy. Really, I've always enjoyed it on the Game Boy. It was the alternative game to Pokemon Yellow and the Game Boy that I would play.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And now with Tetris 99 back out, I've been really, really enjoying it.
What did you get last night?
I won my first Tetris Maximus.
I'm actually really impressed by this because I have never done it. I think the best I've done is 3 maybe.
Yeah, I think you've gotten. I think there was a long time where we were posting to our group chat for.
No. I'm just
like
I'm
fifths, but never a first.
I'm finding the thing.
Except for Ryan, he got a first.
Yeah, but he's. If you can see that, that's him. He really did that.
I'll pop it on the screen.
He really did.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Well done.
Okay, so Dr. Mario, what can you tell me about it?
Well, I know the first one came out on the NES in 1990. It was ported to the Game Boy as well. I played it on the NES quite a bit. It was one of the games that almost everybody had.
Yeah, we played it. We played it a couple of months ago, didn't we? Whenever we set up
We
the
did
NES.
actually play it. Yeah,
we
did,
played Dr.
did,
Mario because
yeah.
Tetris didn't have the 2-player that we wanted.
Yeah, I was really disappointed about that actually.
Yeah, that was
I know.
annoying. Yeah,
It's something that got me. I got the 4-score N64, or sorry, the NES. So it comes with the cartridge with the 3 games on it.
Yeah.
And they're meant to be, 4-player. You'd imagine they're 4-player games.
Yeah.
You've got the World Cup game and stuff on it. No, Super Mario Bros. Is on it. That's on everything. So I expected you would get 4-player on Tetris.
But you don't.
But no.
What did we play 4-player?
Gauntlet.
Gauntlet.
2.
Yes.
Gauntlet 2.
Oh, really fun.
That was brilliant.
That was a lot of fun.
We
Yeah.
played that for ages actually. That was really good. I like the Valkyrie. Yeah, that was class. Okay, Dr. Mario it's a good game, but
I mean, realistically,
I could see them doing a new one.
Yeah, it's more or less
in the same way as they've done Tetris.
Dr. Mario's almost its unique thing, but it's still a Mario, so it's.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I would categorize them all separately. The Mario Golf and Mario
Tennis series,
and stuff.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think it'll make a massive amount of difference, really. No. It's not the consoles aren't going to fly off the shelves because Dr. Mario's out, but I definitely think it would sell.
Yeah, absolutely. With Tetris 99 having its popularity,
Definitely.
They maybe do a Dr. Mario 99.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see people playing that.
People the same thing, more or less. Yeah. And as you know, if it's got a Mario on it, it'll sell.
It'll sell.
Yeah, absolutely. They could put it out free, similar sort of thing, and then add the sort of single player thing to it. Charge you for that, same way as they did with Tetris. But yeah, it's a thumbs up for me for Dr. Mario. But I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do it again. But they could do.
I think now, if they're going to do it, now's the time to do it again.
Yeah. No, I would agree. We're on to F-Zero now. That's a proper good one.
This is a good one.
Good one. Yeah.
I've just bought F-Zero GX for the GameCube.
I don't know if I have that. I don't think I have.
I got a good deal on eBay. It came with 4 games. It was F-Zero. I think one of them was a Fee.
It's the first one where what do you call him? Falcon really comes into it because I'm right in saying is he in the 64 one?
I think he's in it because he was in Smash at that point on the N64.
I think he is, yeah. No, I would know the original on the SNES, and the music is incredible. I love the music in the original on the SNES. And there's no real characters or anything. It's just straight up racing.
It's
4 cars
it's a really, really fast race. And kind of the thing that really sold it for me was just a high visual. Everything is very vibrant and
it's bright, doesn't it?
Bright.
Yeah, it's a very fast game as well.
Yeah, but it's very good how they kind of trick you into thinking that it's fast.
Right,
because they move everything just a little bit quicker, and from like
that's
a normal
how speed
racing,
works, like.
Yeah, but from like a racing game standpoint, where it would be you could tell, like on a sprite one, it's how quickly the sprites come up to you. But whereas this one, it's very much how quickly you're taking your corners and how everything's kind of morphing into really. Yeah.
What about? Do you remember we were talking about the cruis'n games and how they could bring out some sort of open world aspect of something like that? Do you think they could do something like that with F-Zero?
I don't think they could.
Why?
It's not really that kind of game. This is a racing game. You play F-Zero to race.
So the other ones,
cruis'n's a bit more of an open world kind of one.
Well, it's just a straight up arcade racer, but you could convert it to something like Forza.
Yeah, yes, that's what we're talking about, wasn't it?
But then with F-Zero, I don't see why you couldn't.
I don't know. It wouldn't do it for me,
The F-Zero Horizon Festival, and it's set on some foreign planet somewhere, and you just cruise around, meet people, and do races, and it's all online, and I don't know. It seems a wee bit mental, but no, I don't think they would need to do anything like that with F-Zero. I think Nintendo release a new F-Zero tomorrow. It flies off. I'm buying it.
I'd buy it.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Mario Kart's a great racer. It's the only kind of real racing game I'd play on the Switch.
Yeah.
So having another one would be
absolutely
good.
Yeah, I mean, there's CTR as well, but other than kart racers, the Switch really doesn't cater for
any kind of realism or
that Urban Asphalt or something it's called. It started off as a mobile game. We were talking about that before, and then that Grip and one or two other wee ones, but they're all third party.
There's no first party Nintendo ones other than the kart games. Well, even then, Crash Team Racing isn't a first party.
No, it's not. No. But here F-Zero's had loads. There was
F-Zero was one of the
a load
games.
of these I've never even seen. There was a Game Boy Advance Japanese only F-Zero Climax.
No, F-Zero Climax.
Yeah, it's the adult version.
I think the one that I would know the best would be the N64.
Oh, no, it would be a SNES for me.
Yeah, the SNES. No, the N64. I had the cart. It was great fun. It was one of. I'm pretty sure about this. It was one of the N64 games that ran at 60 frames per second.
Yes, I remember you saying this. Yes,
I'm
that's true.
almost certain that's true because
yeah.
that's they sacrificed a lot of the kind of visual quality in it. I know it's an N64 and there isn't a lot there, but sacrificing even a little bit in that is kind of a bit more obvious. But they sacrificed quite a bit just to have the 60 frames per second, so it would run so well.
Just for the smoothness of
yeah,
it.
they picked the kind of the fluidness of the game.
I was really happy when they put the 2 tracks into Mario Kart. And you get this, the thing starts up and you get the whoa. You know, it's just like it's just exactly like the original SNES, you know. No, I could, I mean, I'm surprised there hasn't been one because there wasn't even one there was none on the Wii
U or Wii U,
yeah. The GameCube one was the last sort of home console one, so that's been sitting for a while. Let's maybe do a wee comeback. Nintendo, get it done. The next one I don't know an awful lot about. I'm hoping you know loads.
No.
Fire Emblem?
No, I don't know anything about Fire Emblem.
I'm really sorry about this because I know loads of people. It's a huge game. It's huge. And anytime a new one comes out, there's been like 20 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think, well, hold on. The first one came out in 2003 and like 2019, that one, the Three Houses, came out earlier on this year. I have never played any of them.
No, I've never
I know
played
what they are. They're sort of tactical role-playing games. No.
They're kind of like a Final Fantasy style game.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, they are what they are, and they keep pumping them out, and they keep selling.
I don't know if Final Fantasy ever released on Nintendo.
There's another wee game. Oh God, I shouldn't have started in this because I'm not going to remember the name of it. Oh my goodness, it's a remake of an older. I think it was a 16-bit game maybe, but and it's the same sort of thing where it's called, is it War something? Oh God, and you'll have 2 teams, and the screen's split down the middle. So it won't be like Final Fantasy where you see like a little open plane and they're fighting each other. The game's actually split down the middle, and you'll have one team on one side, one team on the other. And as your team advances, they disappear into the side of the screen, and then they reappear on the other side of the screen. It's so weird, but it's just came out for the Switch. I was looking at it in game the other day. I picked it up and was looking at it. It's down. I think it's only like £35 or something, and I was tempted by it. But I know that. I read an article not too long ago about how this sort of thing, this tactical RPG, maybe in the format that Fire Emblem isn't as well represented on the Switch as maybe it could be. And there was a wee bit of excitement for this one coming out. I'm really sorry, I can't remember the name of it. It'll come to me.
I'll come back.
Hopefully. But unfortunately, I can't say.
We don't really have much to say about Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem. I mean, it's out, and there's not. I mean,
we're not going to sit and lie to you, like talk about experts in a game we've never played before.
But this is the thing. I mean, is it even relevant in this context? I mean, the thing's out and all. They're pumping them out quickly. They're selling. It makes little odds. The next one we're going to move on to is the Game & Watch, which is a completely different thing altogether.
Yeah, it is. That's the Game & Watch are just almost like little handheld consoles.
Yes.
Well, that's what they are. Sorry, they are handheld consoles.
Single games on each.
Yeah, single games on each one. And I think if they released that, they could...
Like if they brought out let's say a Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And it was shaped like
little Game & Watch.
Well, I mean, the aesthetics of the thing could match Mario Kart. It could
like
be an actual little steering wheel or something with a screen
cool,
on
actually,
it. Sell that for $99.99, and it's literally just Mario Kart.
$99.99.
Aye.
I was thinking more along the lines of maybe $19.99. Yeah, nothing.
You're never
for one single game. Well, I suppose one single game. I guess. Yeah.
It's never going to happen. I'm being realistic. Like you're not. Even the Game & Watches weren't cheap.
Were they not?
No, they weren't cheap. This is why when I was younger, we played the Tagger ones. Those ones were $19.99 in the corner shop. They were rubbish. But the Game. When I was younger, I only knew one guy with a Game & Watch, and he had the Donkey Kong one, and he was spoiled.
Fun. Yeah.
He was spoiled rotten. This kid,
you've just recently picked up the Donkey Kong one, Mario, and there was another couple, wasn't there?
Oil Panic and Greenhouse.
Greenhouse is the one I haven't played. I've played the other 3. I haven't
played that one either. No, I haven't played that one yet.
I've played the other 3 and they were great.
From what I gather, I think it's the more desirable of the 4.
Yeah,
I think so. The wee green one. Yeah. Judging by what you see them going for on forums and things like that, but no, I could see them. I could see them doing something like that where they brought out maybe a Mario Kart or even a Pokemon one.
Yeah, I would buy it. I would buy it.
Well, you had maybe I don't know what it would be in the shape of a Pokédex. That's
a really good idea. A Pokédex, like the original. Wow, that's clever. That is clever.
I'm going to let myself down here. The Pokédex is the Pokemon equivalent to you remember Quantum Leap? And your man Ziggy would turn up and go bloop, 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 and then he would be able to tell them all the stuff
that's the
that was going on.
That's the equivalent of the Pokédex.
So yeah,
that's really good.
So if they brought out, like, if Nintendo brought out a Pokédex shaped handheld game,
Watch,
and it was a Game and Watch, they could even brand it that way,
like
but it was Pokemon only.
Maybe with 3 or 4 of the games on it, maybe the first generation,
second
generation.
It's only one game, you see.
Yeah, I understand that's the kind of real principle.
You don't
of
have
Game
to
Watch,
have one
but
game,
you
but
have more than one game. I mean, in this, having one game will not, it'll not cut it. You would have to put a series on, so you'd have to do like the first 3 Pokemon, so you'd have to do like Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Crystal, and Pokemon Emerald.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right. I wasn't thinking like the brand new ones. I was thinking more along the lines of the 3DS games. You know, just
something a bit more up there.
So it's built in, and because I know an awful lot of people. I think maybe you would be one of them that buy Nintendo handheld consoles for the purpose of playing Pokemon.
Yeah,
almost exclusively.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember your weird claw hand for the Game Boy Advance SP.
Yes, that's right.
So you can play it with one hand.
Yeah, well, whenever I had the SP at the time, I had to have 2 hands on it because I was little. But now that I've got a big hand, I was playing the N64. Not the N64, the SP with one hand, just A and B on one finger, and then the 4. just set off to the side playing it.
This is what happens when you've been doing something for so long. Did you know the guy that designed the Game & Watch was the same dude that designed the Game Boy?
Really?
Yes,
that's
and
cool.
Also the Virtual Boy.
The Virtual Boy?
Yeah.
Really?
That one didn't go so well.
No, I didn't go down well at all.
Didn't do too well. Was he involved in the DS as well, maybe? I can't remember. I don't know if I've written it down here.
I think if you're involved in one handheld, you're
I'm not sure.
Or less go through the rest of them.
No, it's all I've written down here is that the dual screen ones was what they became inspiration for the DS later on. But I don't think Gunpei Yokoi was the guy. I don't think he was involved in the DS. I was going to get you to say his name. Yeah. But I did okay. Right. We'll move on to the next one. I've lost my place. It's Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus.
Which is alright. I mean, I put it on here because I did have a friend that had it when I was younger, had it on the NES, and it's a fun wee game. It's sort of like it's kind of like if Ratchet and Clank was 2D, it's sort of a shooting game, like, you know, it's a platformy sort of shooting game. You make your way up the levels. It's very difficult, like, but yeah, it was okay. It was fun. I definitely think a modernized version of Kid Icarus could be good. I think they did one.
Kid Icarus is quite well known from Smash.
Yeah,
that's where I know him from. I know most of the Smash characters. In fact, all the Smash characters will have their own kind of storyline or place in a story, but I didn't really know where Kid Icarus was from.
Where he came from, yeah.
So I had an idea that he had his own series, but I didn't really know much
it's all based
about
around Greek mythology and stuff. It's kind of cool, like, it's alright. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it as a kid. Yeah, 2012 they brought out a 3DS version of it. It was much more up to date in terms of the visuals of it.
From 1991 to 2012,
that's a fair jump.
That's a fair jump. Yeah,
I could see a modern Kid Icarus game. I don't know if it's really that relevant. Like, I mean, younger people probably won't even know what it is, especially if they've never played Smash. Yeah. You know, to most people, they'll just be a Smash character.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know. I don't think this would do well coming back.
Maybe off the back of that, it could do okay. You know, because there's a lot of people play Smash, and even if that's the only exposure they've had to Kid Icarus, you know, even if they're perception is, they're making a game of this guy that's from Smash. Do you know the way John Wick's in Fortnite? That kind of thing, like, you know that way. I wouldn't mind it. In actual fact, if they made it, I'd probably buy it. But you're right. It's not going to set the world on fire. Like, we'll move on to Kirby.
Kirby.
I have to be honest. I'm not a fan of Kirby.
Really?
I find them too easy.
Yeah, they are very easy platformers. I think that's kind of Kirby's designed to be like this kind of simple, just pink ball with a little bit of childish energy around it. It's definitely a younger kind of audience hit character.
I remember reading a thing about the design of Kirby, that in the West they always picture him, because he's supposed to be androgynous. He's not, or she. There's no gender there at all. But because it's a big pink ball, I think Nintendo of America weren't really sure about how it was going to reach the market. You know, in the US, because it may be seen as girly, or at the very least it would be sort of kiddie. So in a lot of the Western box art, he's always doing something or holding something.
Like his hammer.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something that makes him a bit more manly, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of funny. But you know where the name came from?
No.
You do. I
Do
told you
you?
this recently. Was your man died. The solicitor, the lawyer died there this year. John Kirby. He was the guy that took the Donkey Kong case when I think
It was the copy of King Kong, wasn't it?
Universal or somebody.
Yeah.
I forget who owned the rights to King Kong back then. But yeah, they tried to sue Nintendo for using Kong with Donkey Kong. How your mom won that, I don't know. Because I mean, let's be honest.
That's pretty. Yeah.
It's a big monkey called Kong.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like.
Yeah, it is just a straight up steal.
But he did it, and they named the. They named the character after.
Nintendo are quite good for that. They Mario was their original landlord, wasn't
it?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah.
And where did Yoshi come from?
Oh, I don't know this now.
Oh,
this would be
I'm not gonna go into it if I'm not 100%.
Go on. What do you think? Because I'll Google it here. Oh no, I haven't connected. No, I won't. You Google it.
We'll get back to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what? Kirby, they brought out one for the Switch and all. Yeah. I haven't played it.
Yeah,
I probably won't play it.
No, I probably won't play it either. I've played, I think it was...
Do you think Kirby's a Smash character more than anything now as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No question at all.
It's funny, isn't it?
That's where everybody knows him from, is Smash.
Because he's so OP.
Yeah, he's very, very... He can be...
Not so much in the more recent games, but especially on the GameCube one,
Yeah, very, yeah.
Am I right in saying, because I'm not a big Smash player, but I remember playing this and certain characters get maybe a single or a double hop.
Yes.
Once, if you're off the level, you can sort of hop in midair back on. But am I right in saying Kirby is just going to go boop, 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 and just keep going? There's no real limit to how much hops he can do in midair.
There's definitely a limit on it, but it's definitely a lot more than everybody else. Like, it's a hop, then you go like the distance of maybe 2 hops, then you go again. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not mad fussed on Kirby. I know quite a lot of people actually are. I don't think
it's not really my cup of tea either.
Yeah,
but I've nothing against it. I would play it. If I had nothing else to play, I'd probably sit down and enjoy it.
I'm trying to think that I own a Kirby game. I'm not sure I do actually. You know,
I think it's Block Ball for the Game Boy. One of the. But
no,
I think that was all because my mum and dad bought it for my sister. She didn't like it, and then I ended up playing it. Really, really enjoying
it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Air Raid maybe on the GameCube. Maybe I might have got it as part of a bundle. I've never specifically went out and bought a Kirby game. No. I can't imagine it would make a massive amount of difference if they brought out a new one. But then it would still probably be welcomed as well, and it definitely would sell. The next one's huge, and it's not even. In the context of this, it's not really relevant, but you can't talk about Nintendo IPs and not talking about Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, The Legend of Zelda is probably its strongest IP at the minute.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's gone beyond. I mean, Mario and Luigi are the front men for Nintendo, but I think if you show The Legend of Zelda, more people will know it. In terms of actual gamers would know it.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows Mario Luigi.
No, I know that, but I get what you're saying. I mean, there's more people queuing up outside for Zelda games than there are Mario games.
I think Mario and Luigi have remained the front men because that's what parents relate to. Like, Mario and Luigi.
Well, the casual market knows Mario. Yeah. Everyone knows Mario.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I think it's parents more so buying. This one's got Mario, Luigi on it. Let's buy that and bring it back.
But by comparison, everyone knows Zelda is the wee fella. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I know
in terms of the wider audience, like it's still funny in 2019. How many games have they put out, and still so many people think that Link is Zelda.
Oh yeah,
do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, so in terms of the casual sort of even gamer, people that don't play games, they'll look at a picture and go, "Oh yeah, I know him. That's Zelda."
Yeah.
Or Princess Zordo. It's so funny, Princess Zordo. Like Zelda is absolutely humongous.
Huge, yeah.
I've played. I have to confess, I'm not a huge fan, and I'll be honest. I actually personally think they're fairly overrated games. But. I can understand why they are as big as they are. They are great games. Don't get me wrong. I loved Link to the Past on the SNES.
Yes,
the top-down one.
That's one I haven't played.
Played a lot of that one. Played a bit of Zelda 2 when I was younger, but it was too difficult. I just couldn't. I didn't have the patience. The original Legend of Zelda in the NES,
it was impossible, I thought, to play, really.
Well, no, I mean it is. But
you need a guide.
Yeah, you need some sort of FAQ.
If you went in there blind, you'd be walking around forever.
But that was the idea, and then back then,
I understand that back in the day that was totally fine. There didn't have to be a narrative. You just went and found it yourself, and that was the enjoyment of it, because that's what you got all your time from, is playing it and doing it yourself.
Yeah, there was a lot of games I would have played on the Spectrum and the Amstrad that you had no context. Yeah. The game just started, and you were a thing fighting a thing, and you had to do things, and you had no idea, but you'd work it out as you went along. When I was younger, I preferred arcade games, more simple format sort of type things with sort of smooth, addictive gameplay rather than immersive stories and adventure RPGs and things like that. I didn't really have the patience for the original Zelda when I was younger, I'll be honest. And I think at this stage now, I tried on the Switch. I tried it on the on that NES online thing. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I remember how I actually got into Zelda was before I was completely oblivious to it. I was maybe about 11, 12, that kind of age, and my mum's friends were having like a house party. So I had to go. They were invited along, and I was brought along to it just because my mum's friend had a son as well, and he was about 4 or 5 years older than me, so he was like 16, 17. I went up into his room and sat, and we were just playing games, and he was like, "Have you ever played this?" And it was the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, so it was the GameCube.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "No, what is it?" He's like, "Oh, it's a really fun game," and he started talking me through it. It was just kind of like brought to me and presented like, "This is the Legend of Zelda. You'll enjoy this."
And at that point, you'd never heard of it?
I'd never really heard of it, no. Because
you don't get Zelda games on PC.
In my school, well, I wasn't playing PC at that point. I was on the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 2 it would have been.
No, you don't get Zelda games to PlayStation 2.
No, you don't at all. And I was always playing Pokemon on Nintendo. That's why I associated it with straight away. I was playing like the games I was playing on PlayStation 2 at the time was like SmackDown versus Raw and FIFA and the sports games, because whenever I was in
the stuff most sort of 12, 13-year-olds play.
Yeah, exactly. So this was brought to me. I was like, okay, this is really fun. And then I started finding I had the N64, I had the Game Boys, and I was able to get Zelda games pretty handy after that. So the one I played first myself was Ocarina of Time, and then I got Majora's Mask as well, and I really enjoyed both of them. At this point, I was about 13, 14, so I was kind of at the right age to start playing Zelda, I think.
Yeah. Fair enough. I played Ocarina of Time. I played Majora's Mask. I think I preferred, because they're very similar games. Very, very similar games. I mean, people will hold
absolutely
Ocarina of Time up on a pedestal like it's the greatest game ever. But honestly, I think I was more impressed with Majora's Mask. I just like the sort of darkness of it. It was kind of cool. I do like Ocarina, and I got it on the 3DS as well. It's a fun game.
The remake was good, I thought.
Yeah, it is much better than the N64. I definitely recommend it if you've never played it. I mean, if you have and you've got the nostalgia for it, then playing it on the N64, there's nothing like it. But if you've never experienced it and you want to try Ocarina of Time, get it on the 3DS. It's very, very good. Very, very good. It's also on the GameCube. You can get it on a couple of different things. Really? It's on the Zelda.
It's on that Zelda collection, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it also on the Wind Waker? You get a second disc with Wind Waker, and you get the.
Oh, was it?
And what do you call the Master Quest?
Really?
Yeah. So it's like a mirrored version of the original game and more difficult. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, no. In terms of Zelda, I think there's probably, if you were to do a vote on with every gamer on the planet, what is the greatest game of all time? I think probably Ocarina of Time will come out first. I don't personally agree. I don't think that's correct. I think Breath
of the Wild would come out ahead of it.
Yeah, never underestimate the
nostalgia,
the effect of nostalgia. Yeah. No, and to be honest with you, up until the release of Breath of the Wild, I think the Ocarina was the undisputed king. I still haven't played Breath of the Wild. I still haven't played it.
I have played the first chapter of it, maybe.
I just haven't got around to shelling out the money for it yet. I know it's like £40 and I pay £40 for other games, but I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't just went and bought it.
I got it with my Switch because I bought it pre-owned, and it came with a handful of games, and it's there, and I've played it a little bit. I haven't fully invested in it.
You have it in the house?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't played it?
No.
That seems fun.
I haven't fully. Well, I've played it, but I haven't fully invested myself into it. It's more like how I took The Witcher on as well. It took me. Yeah. I did an attempt at it and then just kind of lost touch. I was like, right, I better go back to the start. It happened again. and then I got maybe 2 or 3 chapters in, and now I'm like,
That's what
I've
I
forgotten
would.
how to play, so I'm going to leave it a little bit longer, and then I'm going to go back and start it again.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, from what I've heard, I would expect The Witcher 3 with pastel colors.
Yeah,
From Breath of the Wild, you know, that kind of way.
It's very, very interesting. I remember it being quite difficult. I remember avoiding the big kind of mechanical spider things because they were like unbelievably difficult. Like you couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
And then I did something by complete accident where I made an attack with my shield and timed it, and I shot back to it and killed it. I was like, oh, that's how you do it.
Yeah. But I think that's Zelda, isn't it? You never, especially when it comes to the bigger enemies, it's never just you never just attack them. There's always a little puzzle. You have to work it out.
The puzzle they have parts. There's like little caverns. I'm not quite sure, dungeons, I guess.
Yeah.
And the little puzzles, and there was one where you had to use your switch as a, like, what are they called? There's little kind of puzzle things with a ball in it, and they've got like a maze you have to get your way through.
Yes.
It was like one of those, and you had to tip it around, and that was quite cool.
Yeah, there's a fair amount. I played Twilight Princess not long ago on the GameCube because of the pad. Because you have your menu right in front of you the whole time. It's brilliant. Like, or you can just swap to
you played it on the Wii U.
What did I say?
GameCube.
Did I?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, I played it on the Wii U. Sorry. Yes, I did play it on the Wii U, and it's very good.
Yeah, Twilight Princess.
It's very good. I really enjoyed it. It's again. Like I got hammered on one of the forums. I was on one of the Nintendo forums, and I did a wee review after I played it. And I gave it 7.5.
Okay.
Which I thought was
fair. Fair, yeah.
I thought that was fair. I got hammered over it.
Really?
Yeah, lots of people weighed in saying, "Oh, that's a 10 out of 10 game," and blah blah. But then there was a few other ones were saying, "Well, it's not even the best Zelda game." So it's in fact a lot of people.
It's very far away from the best one. A lot of people
from what I gather, yeah. I have to say I enjoyed it. I like the story. I like this sort of sci-fi aspect to it and traveling to different dimensions. And
I really
stuff.
like Twilight Princess as well.
Yeah,
I played it on the Wii, just the standard Wii.
I can't deny the similarities between it and Okami. It's a wee bit. It's
absolutely
mad. I don't know which one came first. I'm not saying one copy of the other, but it's mad. It is mad how similar they are. Like. But yeah, then I enjoyed that. Okay, we're getting Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, that was an interesting tease.
I'm telling you now, we're getting it. Right, Nintendo?
Well, they've teased it at the...
Oh, have they? Right?
Yeah, they teased it at E3 at the end of their expo.
Brilliant.
So Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild 2, but I don't know if that's a placeholder for an actual title.
Okay.
But it's coming.
Other than the original Zelda, it'll be the first sequel, what? Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
Because all of them start kind of from the start.
It's kind of funny. Nintendo would sometimes do this whenever they'll use their IPs fairly regularly, and every generation will have one or two of the same franchise like Zelda or Mario or whatever. But every now and again, one will do particularly well, and it will be a very, very good game. For example, Mario Galaxy on the Wii got a sequel.
Yeah.
Because it was such a good game and it did so well. I'm not surprised that Breath of the Wild's getting a sequel.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
at all. That Breath of the Wild went straight to the top of what was it, Games Radar? Or Rotten Tomatoes, was it? Their Games rating?
Sure. Really?
Yeah, it went straight to the top. It's like a 99.
Is it not?
Metacritic, is it? Sorry.
Yes.
Metacritic put it at 99 out of 100. And
that's average, though. How can that be? Really?
99 out of 100, yeah.
Wow. I knew it was close to the top, if not at the very top.
Oh, it is.
But I thought it was like maybe 96 or something. Then it was 99.
Oh, no, it's 99. Metacritic don't go much higher than 95 very often.
Yeah, Zelda's a powerhouse. It's huge. It's 100%. I definitely agree with you. It's Nintendo's biggest IP. It's their most successful IP. It's the one that people lose their mind over more than anything else.
Yeah.
And a new one can't be that far away.
And I'm sure there's people that'll buy Nintendo consoles just to play.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
Legend of Zelda.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would be honest.
I'd say a lot of people bought the Switch just to play Breath of the Wild.
If they released a Zelda Switch, I would consider investing in a second Switch.
I think they didn't. They didn't start with the
Wii
there'll be
U.
a Breath of the Wild 2 one.
The Wii U had a Zelda Wii U, and it was just the same. It was just black, but it had a little gold sort of.
Oh, it'll be gold trim on it.
Yeah. So
nice.
and with the Triforce thing on the top of it, it was quite good. I think I probably would. I'm a bit of a sucker for stuff like that. There, yeah, sure. I got that Link's Awakening.
Yes, you
Yesterday.
did. Yeah,
The
I really like the steelbook in it.
But
I would almost buy it just for
it's
the
sealed.
steelbook.
I don't want to buy
Yeah,
it.
I know what you
But it's
mean.
the same. Why do I keep doing this? I should just buy things that aren't sealed, because it's the same with the SNK collection. It's the same with Bloodstained as well. Although I'm playing that on the Xbox, so it's fine. But anytime I pick up a sealed game now, I just feel like I'll put it on the shelf and not touch it.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Even though this is completely wrong. Whenever we bought the N64 games yesterday, and they had that wrap on them, I still haven't taken them out of that wrap because
That's really good, actually.
It is, isn't
like
it?
that, yeah.
So it's pretty much just a heat sealed bag over the cartridges and then heat it down. But it feels like a proper sealed cartridge, even though it's obviously not the box and everything. But it's still pretty good. I just feel like
as a way to receive your used cartridges from a reseller, it's tremendous. It's really good. It's really good. Anybody else that does that out there, if you can put them in little sort of vacuum sealed bags, it really makes a big difference. Incidentally, the guy that we were seeing yesterday is a guy called Jace's Place. You'll get him on Facebook. Give him a wee text. He has loads of stuff.
I think he's in the middle of moving shops at the minute, so his stock's a little bit low. But give it another.
But we got great deals.
We got really good deals.
We done really well yesterday. Whenever
he's back up on his feet again and going with his new store, we'll go buy everything and then we'll tell you about it.
Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, we might even stick a wee link to his thing in the show notes underneath.
Absolutely.
Maybe have a wee word with him first to see if we're allowed. We'll move on from Zelda. I mean, what can you say? It hasn't already been said.
Yeah.
The next one's Luigi. So Luigi's own game. So as in like Luigi's Mansion's literally just dropped.
Luigi's Mansions.
But what did you think of the Luigi U? Did you play that?
No. What's Luigi U?
It's like they brought out the Mario Bros U.
Oh yes, yes.
And then they brought out Luigi Bros.
Yes, I did play that. Yeah, it was quite fun.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's the same as Mario, but it's like time attack mode. So I think you get a minute.
Yeah, I think so.
To finish every level, so you really have to hammer.
Go for it.
And it's what do you call the little dude, the wee pink rabbit that you chase after at the start of some of the levels? I forget the name. He steals something on you. What does he steal on you? And then you have to go back in 3D World. And isn't it in 3D World? No, it's not. It's in it is. It's Wii U. And he's a little pink rabbit, and a wee purple rabbit, and he has a wee bag in his back.
What?
And you chase him? No, have you not done this? No. Well, the whole game feels like in the Mario Bros. There's certain levels where if you go back on yourself, there'll be a little pink rabbit. I forget what it is he steals on you, but he steals something on you, and if you chase him, he's really hard to catch. But you catch him, you get whatever it is back, and maybe an extra life or something stupid like that. But it's that format of hammering through the level as quickly as you possibly can. They've just made a game of it. And it's Luigi instead of Mario.
It's a lot of fun,
and it's really good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I could definitely do another one of those.
Yeah, I think we could. We could do that.
Because we didn't get that for the Switch.
Obviously, Luigi's biggest game.
Is it in the deluxe one?
Yeah, it is. It's in the Wii U. So I have the.
No, but in the the Mario Bros. Deluxe that came out for
it is,
the Switch. So Luigi's on it, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I haven't played that.
But obviously, Luigi's biggest game's Luigi's Mansion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no questions there. It did really well. Came out on the GameCube was Luigi's Mansion. Was it the first one?
No, Luigi's first ever game.
No, Luigi Mansion.
Oh, Luigi's Mansion was was on the GameCube first.
First one, yeah.
Yes.
That's right, because we had the little that was an unboxed copy that I had.
I'm sitting here sort of grinning because I know what Luigi's first game was. It's called Mario Was Missing. It was like an educational game on the SNES.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not very good.
No,
there was a couple of other ones. There was one called Hotel Mario. Hotel Mario was an educational game. God, I can't remember. I've only ever played these on emulators. I've never actually I've never even held the carts in my hand. It's cold in here and he's filling me a heater. So I'm sitting with a hoodie on. Mario was missing. So you're Luigi and you have to find him. I think you tour around like dungeons and things like that. Trying to find him. I can vaguely remember it. But I just thought I'd throw that in just because it was a wee bit of trivia. Maybe people don't know. Luigi's Mansion. Killer really liked it.
I really like it. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's quite a fun game.
Yeah.
It's just fairly innocent and simple and...
Is it? He runs around with like a Hoover, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's just like Ghostbusters.
It's
just like Ghostbusters.
Yeah. And then that new one's out and people are going mad for it. Apparently it's really good. A lot of the Switch games are, when they come out, especially Link's Awakening was kind of a weird one that when you take it out of dock mode, the frame rate dropped and people had real problems with that game. And it's funny that a first party game, especially something like Link's Awakening, it's a remake of a Game Boy game, would have so many problems. But apparently Luigi's Mansion's perfect.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I think if Tesco's are still doing their 2 for 30, I'm going to pick up Luigi's or 2 for 60. Sorry, I'm going to pick up Luigi's Mansion and Link's Awakening.
Yeah,
I think I'll get the two of them. I seen a copy of Link's Awakening going fairly cheap, but
yeah, no, I'm so tempted to go and do that 2 for 60, but to have £60 to spend on 2 Switch games right now. Probably not.
Probably not. No.
But then I've kind of,
But then would you? I mean,
because they don't come down in price. £30 a game is actually really cheap.
Yeah, I was gonna do it before I spent all my money in the GameCube games.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
That's fair enough. I used to spend about 50 odd quid. You got loads.
Oh,
the
yeah.
weight of the bag you came out with was mad. Yeah. It's great. Do we need another Luigi game? Oh, I think I think the
if they
Wii U,
bring out another Mario like side scroll, like another Mario Deluxe,
the time attack really fast one, yes, definitely. It's it's a bit sacrilege saying this, but it's a bit like Sonic.
Yeah.
It's that kind of frantic, like reactionary sort of gameplay. It's really, really good. I have to say, I really, really like that one. Do you know they did a Dr. Luigi?
A Dr. Luigi? Is it just like Dr. Mario?
Same character.
Yeah, just different character.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, see, I mean,
is it exactly the same but just rebrand it? It's like Pokemon Blue and Pokemon Red.
you only get certain blocks with certain ones. No,
different color scheme.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know what the difference is.
Okay,
I don't know if there even is a difference. I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure somebody could know. Stick a comment underneath. The next one's a big one. It's the Mario Bros. As opposed to. Have I put No, I haven't. I've only put the adventure ones in, the side-scrolling. Sorry, I've kept everything else separate. Yeah, so what we're talking about is the likes of the original Mario Bros. Mm-hmm. So the arcade one and the one that appeared on the 2600. The Super Mario Bros. So the side-scrolling ones, the Mario World and everything else. Then on to 64, which was the first 3D one. Sunshine Galaxy, Galaxy 2, 3D World is a brilliant game. And then they obviously remade the Super Mario for the DS.
Yep.
And the Wii, and then Mario Bros 2 came out in the 3DS, and the Mario Bros Wii U is the equivalent to that, isn't that right?
I think you're right.
And then obviously Mario Odyssey, which I was disappointed with.
I haven't played it, and I really haven't gone out of my way to look for it because of how disappointed you were with it.
Like I've already said, I mean, it's a decent game, but it wouldn't fly on another console.
No, I mean, if it wasn't Mario, it wouldn't sell. Yeah,
it's too gimmicky and repetitive for me, and the little nostalgia bits and the 2D bits and all are fabulous.
Absolutely ruined for this.
It is what it is. I'm only honest. Like, I mean, I do like Mario. I love Nintendo games, but I mean, if
it's a bad game, it's a bad game. That's it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even go as far as say it's a bad game. It's just not a very good game.
Yeah, okay.
Unfortunately, there's an awful lot of very staunch fans out there that
the blinders are on and they only see Mario. Yeah, they only see what they want to see.
I feel that way sometimes as well, but all the way back to the start was Mario Bros. There was also a load of ones that he appeared in. There was a wee game called Wrecking Crew. Mm-hmm. Did you ever play that?
No.
He's actually called Jumpman, but he can't jump.
Yes, Wrecking Crew. I actually do remember that.
Yeah, I think is it on the NES on the Switch?
I think so.
I think so.
I think that's where I know it from.
It's sort of like a puzzle game where you have to destroy the level, but you need to get up to certain parts of the level. So if you can be a wee bit too eager and destroy something you need to get up on to get somewhere else, so you restart all the time. I used to play that game quite a lot actually. It's one of the original black box ones as well with the graphics in the front. It's Wrecking Crew was really good. Mario Bros was okay on the 2600 is the one that I have. Mm-hmm. It's horrible. It's horrible. it's a horrible game. But they redone it in Mario Bros 3. Mm-hmm. So if you play Versus in Mario Bros 3, you get the little POW in the middle with the, do you know what I mean? With the wee tubes coming down the sides, and you have to jump and hit your mate. So if your mate's on a ledge and you hit it,
oh, that's cool.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's actually a good wee sort of Versus game. And then if you hit the POW in the middle, it shakes the level, and all of the little turtles turn upside down, so you can hit them at your mate and stuff. Yeah, we used to play that quite a bit. On the NES.
It sounds like a good time actually. It sounds like an interesting version.
It was actually really, really good.
I'm trying to think if there's anything quite like it. I know there's. No, I wouldn't even say no.
It's funny for it to be so. It's not really like a Mario game to pit you against your mate like
absolutely,
that.
It's more like a co-op. Like what's the one? Is it the one on the Wii U? What's that?
The 3D World.
No, was there not one on the Wii U where you could play together, and the person on the pad could push the screen, and it would put like a little cloud below you, and then you could keep going, and they would catch you almost. Oh,
now on the Wii U, the 3D World, you could play 4-player. On that, you could just play 4-player. So if you had 4 pads, you just played. Each of you picked a different character, and they had the sort of abilities from Mario 2, so Peach could float and things like that. In terms of doing things, you did use the pad for a lot. There's there's parts of levels where if you hit them, things raise and go down, but you do it on the screen, and if you
Right,
blow
okay.
at it, it'll blow like a wee propeller and it'll shoot you up and things like that. There,
Okay,
like.
yeah, I guess.
So maybe
Yeah,
maybe
I might be getting
you're
that,
sort
yeah.
of thinking of. But yeah, 3D World. I think I would say 3D World's probably my
I
favorite
was going to
3D
say,
Mario
it's
game.
not your favorite.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say so. Even better than. Now, I haven't played loads of Mario Galaxy, but it's
Mhm.
I would prefer 3D World and even to Mario 64. I think 3D World is incredible. I really love that game. I played it so much. I've actually played it from start to finish twice.
The one on the DS is probably my favorite because you could do download play with it.
Which one on the DS?
I think it's just a Super Mario Bros.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The new Super Mario Bros.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Uh,
really good.
You could do download play with it. So my next door neighbor, she had her DS and she would sit in her kitchen,
Right.
and I'd sit in my kitchen, and I didn't have the game, but she did, so I could download the game and play into
No
her
way.
game if we sat. In
Did
the
she
kitchen.
know you were doing this?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
we
right.
were doing it together. Yeah, that's why we would both sit in the kitchen. But I would have
So
to
did
sit.
they just have to play on the same session?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
the idea. So it was the same game. So she would host it. I would download the game and jump in to play with it. So she would sit at her kitchen window and I would sit at my kitchen window. And you can almost see like through the hedges. But I had to sit on like the sink, the silver part beside the sink. I had to sit on it. But she was all right. She got a proper bench, and we just sat there for hours just playing the DS.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And who was this woman?
Just my next door neighbor.
Like, was this a grown woman?
No, this was a kid my age.
Oh,
as
right,
well.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
just a friend.
Yeah, okay. That's all right. Yeah, that's all right. Wouldn't have mattered.
Jeez.
trying to sucker you in with Mario. You wouldn't be the first. Look, do you know what? For me, I'm not desperate for a new Mario game. What I would love is DLC for Odyssey, because the gameplay
Something to add
for
on to
Odyssey
it,
is good. The whole format of it, even the story and the way it's all set up, it's very good as well. I mean, the thing is it's just repetitive. Those, what do you call them? The Brood or something? The Brood, those weird
I honestly
rabbit
know
bad
very
guys.
little about it.
They're just, I think they were from another Mario game that I'm not familiar with. I'm not entirely sure, because I don't think they were just pulled out of thin air, but they're just so unimaginative and just they're irritating, to be honest with you. And would have much preferred if you were fighting against the different Koopas, like Lemmy and all these guys.
Yeah. What about the Mario Mario and Rabbids crossover?
Oh, loved it.
It was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I loved it.
That's
Yeah,
probably
we were talking about that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite Mario game.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah, really. I really like that.
Really?
Yeah, I really like XCOM, and therefore it translates onto.
Yeah, but your favorite Mario game?
Yeah, I would say so.
I have to say, I really, really enjoyed it. I loved that game. And as soon as the Donkey Kong DLC came out, I bought it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I loved it.
It is a lot of fun.
Really, really, really good. I don't know. I would say this is probably 90% nostalgia. I would take Super Mario World on the SNES over it. I would also take 3D World over it. I think 3D World is brilliant. It really is. But my favorite Mario games, Mario World on the SNES. It's unparalleled in terms of 2D platforming. I mean, I grew up a Sega fanboy. I played all the Segas. I love Sonic. I played all the Sonics, and I know Sonic 2 inside out. And Sonic 2 is the best of all the Sonic games. Mario World is 10 times as good as Sonic 2.
Did you see that? I think it was maybe last year. Somebody broke the world record for the Super Mario Bros. Run.
Was it last year? I thought it was a wee bit earlier than that. This is your wee fella, and he just went absolutely bananas.
He did it in
I've
like
seen
5
that.
minutes, 11 seconds or something, the whole game.
Yeah, it's funny because I used to be able to speed run it too. I was never that fast. Like, I could probably do it in about maybe half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour. Using the warps and everything,
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
so it's okay. I mean, everybody knows how to do it. So what did I play it on? Was it on the NES, on the Switch? It might have been when it first came out. I was sitting with Kayla and I was showing Kayla all the older games and stuff, and she turned her nose up with most of them. But I put on Mario Bros. I says, look, this here and all the music and all, it's really, really familiar. He says, I'll see if I can beat it another half an hour. I didn't even get past level 5. I was beat and done. Oh, it's been so long since I played that game, and I really had this idea that any skill that I used to have for this game would still be there, and it just wasn't.
I remember
totally rinsed.
Whenever I was doing my college project, I was doing a RetroPie and linking it up to like an arcade scoreboard. So it would show your score as you were playing through the games, and then it would put you onto a leaderboard. And that was probably the last time that I was good at this game. I was able to do this the whole game in about 20 minutes as well. But it was just a lot of fun because you're just sitting in class, passing this controller around, seeing if you can do it the fast, and then watching the scoreboard light up with different.
That's good. Like,
Yeah,
that's really good. I like the way the guy had it done in picture in picture, where you had his face and you had the actual game, but there was a
like a little bar,
a wee
the
bar
top.
with a time for each of the levels,
Yep.
which was
really good.
That was good. I like that.
That's it's quite common in speedrun games now. There's one guy I used to watch called Gunner Maniac. He would always speedrun Pokemon Yellow,
All right.
and I think he completed the game.
How do you speedrun Pokemon?
Well, this is it. There's
Is there an end?
Yeah, there's a way of
Okay.
no, the end is just start to Elite Four win. That's kind of what they gauge on. So through the whole story.
So getting up through the levels as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they're crazy. There's just there's ways of doing it. Like they go and deposit Pikachu as soon as possible because he slows you down, like with interaction. So there's points in the game where Pikachu will grab your attention and speak to you. So to get rid of that, they just remove him, and it cuts out seconds, and they keep going. It's big brain time. Really.
Yeah, do you know what's funny? It wasn't so much speed running, but GoldenEye on the N64, if you wanted to unlock the cheats, you had to beat the levels in certain times, and some of them were really difficult. And I remember the one on the is it called the train yard level, and there's a big CCCP thing in it. It's like it looks like a graveyard in the 64, but it's actually like an old sort of dump, or like an old with all these old trains and statues all lying about. And in the movie, in the game anyway, you meet Valentin Zukovsky, Robbie Coltrane's character, in a sort of container, and you're supposed to talk to him. But see, while you're talking to him, it takes ages for the little dialogue boxes to come up and go away, right? But there's no way to skip that, except if you pause the game, he looks at his watch and doesn't. You see the arm coming up, right? But you don't pause. You don't actually pause it. You hit the button till the arm comes up, and then hit it again. The arm will go back down, so it doesn't pause the game, but it fast forwards his dialogue.
All right, okay.
So I used to think this is hilarious. You know, Robbie Coltrane hanging out in a sort of train yard, and round comes James Bond down their head, and he goes, "All right, there, Robbie." I'll see you later. Away he goes, like, you know. And I did actually. I think the only one on GoldenEye I struggled, really struggled with, I think, was the invisibility, not the invincibility.
Okay.
I remember the invincibility was hard, but the invisibility was the other way around. I can't remember because there was something to do with the bunker where. Why am I talking about GoldenEye? But anyway, because it's brilliant. when I think it's the bunker level explodes.
Right.
I wanted to stay around and see what happens afterwards, and the only way to do that was the invincibility.
The invisibility.
So no invincibility.
Invincibility.
So you could withstand all the bombs, and then you'd be there afterwards, and nothing happened. It was just the bomb stopped, and then you just ended the level. But when you're a kid and you've only got 3 games, this is the things that you try and do, you know.
Yeah.
So it definitely had the invincibility because I did do that, but it was, I think the unlock the invisibility had to do the facility, the second level, in a certain amount of time, and it might have even been on 00 Agent or Secret Agent, which meant you had to go and talk to Dr. Doak. It meant you had to go and, you know, do the whole interaction with Trevelyan and, you know, Franklin James and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think I ever actually did that. I'm not sure. Anyway, back to Mario.
I mean, Mario's going to sell no matter what happens.
Yeah, I do want another Mario.
I'd love another platformer game, yeah.
I would like a side-scrolling one. I do love the side-scrolling ones. I don't want a Mario Odyssey 2. I don't care about Mario Odyssey. If they brought out a DLC for Mario Odyssey where you could play 2-player co-op and you could have Luigi with you, that would be great. If there was other functionality added to it where you could actually do Super Mario type things, like get a fire power suit.
Yeah.
You know, get the
What about the new squirrel kind of addition to it? When did that come in?
Squirrel?
Yeah.
It's like a flying squirrel.
Flying squirrel, yeah. When did that start coming in?
It's not Odyssey. Is it Odyssey? It's not Odyssey.
No, because it was in Mario Kart before it was in that, wasn't it? And
because in World it's the cat. You turn into a wee cat and you can run up the walls and stuff.
When did that come in? When did that happen? I think it might have been World though. I do think it was.
You've definitely struck something, and I do know what you're talking about, but I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Was it Galaxy? Because Galaxy's the one I'm not very familiar with.
I think it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm also not overly familiar with Galaxy either.
Because it's definitely not Sunshine with the water cannons. It's not Odyssey with the hat. It's not 3D World. It's the cat. It must be Galaxy.
What about Paper Mario and GameCube?
Oh God, you know what? I've completely forgotten about the Paper Mario games. Yeah.
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah. What was the one? I played the one on the 64 years ago.
Yeah.
Years and years and years ago. And the reason why was because when Mario 64 first came out, I didn't actually like it. I didn't think it was very good. The whole 3D thing,
didn't get.
I don't know. I think I took a wee
while,
bit longer
yeah.
to get to there, like, because I was, like I say, I had the Saturn and I was just flat out on the 2D shooting games in the arcade. I was still at that point in sort of gaming. So the 3D Mario didn't really grab me as much. I eventually got into Mario 64 and I really enjoyed it. So what I wanted was another Mario World, because I absolutely loved that game. And I wanted one for the 64, so just a 2D Mario game. And then I seen Paper Mario and I was like, this must be it. And it wasn't. It was a full-blown RPG. We walk around. It's do you know what it's like? Wonder Boy on the Mega Drive and the Master System. Sort of side-scrolling, like Zelda 2, that kind of thing. And yeah, that was great. It wasn't my game, and I didn't get to play loads and loads of it. But what I did play, I actually really, really enjoyed, and it really reminded me of the old Wonder Boy games, which I loved. I got Thousand Year Door for the GameCube, which I haven't played.
What's a Thousand Year Door?
It's a Paper Mario game.
Really?
Yeah. I've never played it. It's really expensive.
Oh yes, this is one.
That's one reason why I'm telling you, so people know I've got it. and then I got Super Paper Mario for the Wii.
And then there was Mario Sunshine as well. I liked Mario Sunshine. A lot of people didn't. I did.
The gimmick, the same sort of thing. This was the one where you went around
with the water cannon.
Getting rid of the graffiti and stuff like that, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, it was okay. I liked it. Yeah,
it's one of the more valuable games on GameCube as well. But I think that's just the case with
well, I don't know. It'd be about maybe
30 quid.
20 or 30 £30. Some of the Zelda ones are a lot more expensive, and then like I say, Thousand Year Doors, it's ridiculous. I think it was like £100. But yeah,
the side scroller Mario's are they're gonna sell the games. They're gonna do well, and there is gonna be another one. Let's be honest, Nintendo can't just.
I would love. And I'm not one for HD remakes or anything. And if you're going to make a game, make a new game, make a new IP. Don't keep regurgitating the same shit over and over again, and don't keep just putting HD graphics on a game that I've played a million times. I don't need that. Link's Awakening I bought for the sake of owning it, for the nice little thing to sit on my shelf. I mean, I might play it. I probably won't even ever open it because it's sealed.
It's just there, yeah.
I know a friend of ours, Joe's he's actually asked his missus for Christmas, so he has told me that I can keep that sealed. He'll let me it when he's finished with it. So I will get to play it.
I could keep it sealed.
That's not one that I was. Yeah, that's not one that I was mad to play, because Breath of the Wild's different, and I say this here, it sounds so stupid because they still haven't went out and brought Breath of the Wild, but I want to play Breath of the Wild. I don't really care about Link's Awakening. I've played Link's Awakening. I played it years ago, I mean, and I've seen the screenshots and I've seen the video. I mean, what else is there to it? As far as I can tell,
it's just a remaster. That's all it is.
Am I not saying it's like 11 hours or something though?
Oh, I don't know.
That's all right. Like it's not. I mean,
it's not ideal.
I think I'm playing through Tomb Raider. What do you call it? Rise of the Tomb Raider on the Xbox at the minute, and I think I'm about probably 12 hours into that already, and I'm only about 2/3 of the way through it. Like,
Tomb Raider's the new
so,
ones.
I mean, in terms of 2019, 11 hours isn't.
That's not terrible.
It's not great either though.
Yeah,
But then the fact that it is actually a remake of a Game Boy game, that's fantastic. I'm happy with that. Like, no, I would love Nintendo, despite the fact that I would staunchly oppose the remakes of the same games over and over and over and over again. Please give me a HD remake of Super Mario World. Please.
Yes, no,
please.
That would be really good, actually.
Love that so much.
I think that was maybe what Odyssey was supposed to be.
Yeah. It's the only reason why I still carry my DS Lite in my bag. I have my DS Lite in my bag with my Mario Advance 2, which is Super Mario World, and I sit and play it.
And that's the only reason you still carry your DS.
And I carry my DS with me all the time.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I love that game. But then I don't know if that's the case for everybody, because I know an awful lot of people would argue that 3 is better than World. I don't think so.
So are we going to go on to the Mario extensions now?
Aye, well, there's a couple of them coming up here, yeah. I think I've just put these in alphabetically.
Yeah.
And yeah, they all start with Mario, so they'll probably all come up at the same time. I worked this out deliberately. I invented the alphabet. Yeah, the next one's Mario Kart. I mean,
love Mario Kart.
Yeah,
I've always loved Mario Kart, and it will always have that. I would almost buy Nintendo consoles just for Mario Kart.
Yeah.
But it also helps that Pokemon's going to be on the move.
Oh no, absolutely. The Mario Kart's another one of those things where CTR probably being the exception. I'm trying to think of another kart style racer that really sold on any console.
No, Crash Team Racing's probably the only one.
I'm trying to think. I'm sure there was other ones. I remember playing the wacky races on the PS2.
Sonic All Stars Generations done really
well.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's done really well. All right. It's all right. But again, I mean, apologies to the Sonic and Sega fans, but the only reason why that sells well is because it's an alternative to Mario Kart.
Yeah, of course.
People who have put 100 hours in the Mario Kart maybe just want to try something different, and then Sega just released this and we're like, oh well, we'll give this a go. And as good as that game is, and it is very, very good, it's quite difficult in one-player mode. It's not as good as Mario Kart.
Mm-mm.
It's not. And it does leave you with this little sort of want.
To go back and play Mario Kart.
Yeah, it does. It does. If anything, Sega are really good at making you want to play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
That sounds awful. Because it
Maybe
is.
Sega's kept Nintendo in business.
Yeah.
Oh, I really like this new Sega game, but I kind of want to play.
It is kind of, it's funny. And
I really like Sonic, but I kind of want to play Mario now.
Yeah. It's funny because even like sort of the way youngsters would be with PlayStation and Xbox, though, that's the way I was with Sega and Nintendo back in the day. And it's funny that these two are like best buds.
Yeah.
Now, well, not even best buds. The way I see it, it's almost like Nintendo's this horrible overlord that's making Sega do what they want. My poor Sega, you know.
Your poor Sega.
Yeah. But,
So, what's your favorite Mario Kart?
my favorite, that's the new one.
8 Deluxe. I think Mario Kart's one of the games that is, as it's gone through, it's just gotten better and better
No,
and better
I don't
and
know.
better.
I don't agree. No, because up until I played the new one on the Wii U,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the Wii U one I played. I've got the one on the Switch, but I mean it's exactly the same.
Exactly the
it's
same.
exactly the
It's just
same.
on the Switch, yeah.
64.
64 is a lot of fun.
I would.
I really like it. I would take Double Dash over 64, but yes, Double
No
Dash is a lot
way.
of fun. I really like Double Dash.
Dash is probably the worst.
No, I really like it.
Yeah, I would even take the original Super Mario Kart over Double Dash.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
the Double Dash format's okay. It's fine. It's just not it's not as a. I find the tracks aren't as good, and usually when you play some of the other Mario Karts, so like the one like 7 or 8, and it'll have the GameCube tracks, they're always boring. They're always the ones you're like,
Yeah.
you know. I'm not fond of Double Dash, but then also the snaking aspect of it was. I mean, I can't.
Snaking was very.
I can't imagine that if Double Dash was a modern game that wouldn't have been patched.
Oh yeah, no, it would have been patched.
I think I would have been patched. You know.
I really like Double Dash. Probably
I mean,
my favorite one, but then it would be Mario Kart 8 and then 64 for the nostalgia.
so yeah,
64 is a lot of fun to play. It's really good just to crack out the controllers and stick the car in with your friends on 4 screens.
Oh yeah,
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I know you can do that with all the other ones, but there's just something about doing it on the 64 that's a
Yeah,
bit more authentic.
there's an awful lot of nostalgia involved in that, definitely. And the fact that you're playing with sprites in a polygon world, it just looks absolutely ridiculous. It's nonsense. Like, you know, it's like Doom racing. It's just buck mad. Like, but it works, and it's really, really good. I put insane amounts of time into that as well when I was younger. I don't think I ever completely finished it and got all the stars, but I got very, very close. Yeah. Much the same as I am with Mario Kart 8.
I think I've got everything on Mario Kart 8 up to the point of, is it 250cc?
Well,
it gets to the point where it's just outright cheating.
Oh no! I mean, Mario Kart has from about 125 up, it starts getting cheap. Yeah, I think you have to start playing the game in a weird way where you maybe hang back a little bit, or you start holding on. Like, you'll just get a shell and hold it behind you for 3 laps.
You know, for that protection. Yeah,
the game stops kind of being. It loses a lot of the fun aspect. You know, whenever you
don't even try to do it in reverse. It's impossible.
I don't know. I don't mind the reverse ones.
Reverse is harder than the. What is it? 250, yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know.
Not just because you're going backwards, but because it's 250 backwards.
No, is it not? Is it?
Yeah, it's the highest one backwards.
Really? I thought it was. Oh, I didn't realize. I thought it was 125 backwards and then it goes up again. No. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
But yeah, I find when you get to a certain point in Mario Kart, and I find this with most of the sports games as well, they're really accessible. Jump in, play them, loads and loads and loads of fun. Once you start exploring the depth of the game to the point where you want to get really, really good at it and you want to play it and beat everything there is to do, it's almost like Nintendo has just been lazy with their AI. It's instead of making the game more difficult in an intuitive way, they've given the computer characters an unfair advantage, which makes it cheap.
Yeah.
So they'll just pull out a random shell on the last corner, and it happens all the time. So this is why you hang back. This is why you hold on to shells, and this is why you constantly think defensively all the time, which is it's not what makes Mario Kart fun.
Mario Kart's just getting around it as fast as you can. Yeah. What was it we were playing on the N64? Was it the jet ski game?
Wave Race.
Wave Race. We're playing Wave Race, and we weren't really racing the people, like the computers that were in it. We were racing each other, trying to get the fastest time that we could. Yeah.
What was it?
16.91 or something.
Jesus, how did you remember that? It was me.
1611. That's what it was.
It was me. That's all I remember. That's all I need.
I remember I got very, very close, but could never quite get it. Yeah.
Yeah, give me a jet ski.
So Mario Kart, yeah, I mean,
Do you know what?
I'm not going to buy a new one because I've got 8.
No, I want Mario Kart 9 because 8 is already, it's a last gen game. Let's be honest, it's a Wii U game.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
You know, give me Mario Kart 9. Get it out. Get the new game. Nintendo, please. Jumping on the Mario Party now.
Really good fun.
Don't think you need a new Mario Party. The Switch has already got its one.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, other than the Wii U, all the other ones had more than one. So you had 3 on the N64, you had 3 on the GameCube, you had 2.
That was the point where they were putting them out every year almost.
Yeah, and you had 2 on the Wii, 1 on the Wii U, and then 1 on the Switch, and then a whole rake of ones on the
DS,
handheld stuff and all. Like
3DS.
I have
3DS is 3.
I have Island Party Tour or something. I think and that was called
Yeah,
Party Island Tour. Yes,
Mario Party
I've got
Island Tour.
that one, and I've never played it because. Does anyone play Mario Party on their own?
No, absolutely not. Mario Party is designed to ruin friendships.
Yeah. So how does that work on a DS? Do you have to link up a load of DSs, play it online or something?
I think that's how you would do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because
But it's not fun playing it online either. It'd be fun if you're sitting together playing
Yeah,
it. But
'cause you can-
it wouldn't be fun if I was sitting in my house and you were sitting in my. There's no fun if you can't physically abuse them.
yeah. But it was funny because we were playing Mario Party, the original Mario Party the other week on the N64, and
was
we
a lot
had
of fun.
loads of fun playing it. Loads.
Our friend William was falling asleep with the controller.
He did actually fall
We
asleep.
put a picture on our Facebook of
Yeah.
that. It was pretty
Fell
funny.
asleep with his because he wasn't forgiving
No,
up.
come on, we'll get this one done, and then we'll go to.
Because we put it on like 50 rounds, and this went on for ages and ages, and it was and what was it? There was 3 of us because. What happened? Somebody dropped out. Somebody fell asleep. It was quite late. It was like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it was like 4 in the morning.
So there was only 3 of us, and we had Mario in our team that wasn't our bro. So it just became, instead of ruining friendships, it became
Us versus the computer.
yeah, the 3 of us versus Mario.
Yeah.
So Mario was just getting it all the time. We'd go up that other wee way, where you can pay Boo to go and steal his stars and stuff. Yeah, it was great. Poor old Mario, he got hammered. But yeah, we had good fun. And I don't know if any of you remember the tug of war mini game where you roll the thing and it gave you stigmata.
People would wear gloves when they were playing it and everything.
It's bad, and people, Nintendo got sued over that, but we did it, and that one only came up once, but when it did, the collective groan, oh my god, here we go.
Oh my god.
So everybody remembered it, and it was me against Mario, William, and Nerps.
Yep.
And so they're giving it this here, and it's just me in like a big sumo suit, and I beat them. But my hand afterwards was red, bright red.
It's like whenever you first start playing Street Fighter and your thumbs are just raw from the pads.
Yeah, I know. I've got Street Fighter thumbs. I don't have Mario Party palms.
I've started to break my thumbs in. I'm starting to get Street Fighter thumbs. Yes.
Yes. People will stop you in the street and say, "Are you a guitar player?" You know. No, I'm just brilliant at Street Fighter. No, we don't need a new Mario Party, but they're going to bring another one out anyway.
Will there be another one for? Yeah, so there'll be another one for the Switch.
Well, yeah. Well,
I mean, the Switch is still in its life right now. It's still its king console. They're pushing. They're maybe not looking at new consoles right now, but it's now at the middle point of the Switch, so there should be another one towards the end of it.
I would definitely expect another one. The one that's already, what's it called? Super Mario Party, isn't it?
Super Mario
Party.
Party.
Super Mario Party. I was talking to another fella about this. You might have overheard. The box. It sounds so stupid. The box art has put me off.
Really?
It looks like, the way there's like 1-2 Switch and there's like Nintendo Land and these sort of generic tech demo sort of games that they put out.
What about
it looks like that.
Fit one, the Switch Fit, and you get the Switch Fit Adventure or something. You get the hula hoop now with the.
Oh my god!
You put the controllers inside. It's unbelievable. Philip bought it, and Philip has recommended it to us.
No, this is it. Like, I remember everybody going buck mad over the Wii Fit. I queued up.
Yeah, I have the Wii Fit board. Yeah.
I have 3 of them.
You've 3.
Because just from buying bundles, and everybody bought this thing, and you end up with these stupid balance boards, and it's worthless, and nobody's ever going to play it again. And I've got Wii Fit Plus as well.
Oh,
the really, really, really good advanced one. So they brought out this fitness thing, and that's fair enough. If you remember, they brought out like Zumba stuff for the Wii, and there was stuff on there was like an EA Sports thing for the.
I was actually.
It was like an Adidas thing for the PlayStation 3 as well, with the move controllers and stuff. But the thing is, right, I genuinely thought as gamers we were past this. I know the casual market would still be sucked into stuff like that, but you see, like the Nintendo UK forums and
Are they going
the
off
Switch
about
forums.
this? Are they enjoying this?
People have reordering this.
Really?
And putting it on the internet. Oh, I just got this. It's such a good game. Oh, brilliant. And you're going,
Are you serious?
this guy doesn't have a PlayStation 4. You know? This guy has a Switch. He only bought it last week, and he has never played a video game in his life. That's the only way you can get excited about this. Like, it's like getting excited about going to the gym. I know you do.
I know I do. Yeah, I enjoy it.
No, I don't. It's horrible. It's a horrible place full of horrible people. Yeah.
So Mario Party. We're expecting another one.
I would say another one.
Yeah,
and I didn't know this either. It was another thing that put me off because I'm used to the sort of Wii motes with Mario Party. I thought you would have to use both of the Joy-Cons as one player. So you need 4 sets of Joy-Cons, but you don't. You need 2.
Yeah.
So one Joy-Con per person.
They've been very, very good at that.
Yeah.
Nintendo, to be fair to them, making their games playable with just the Joy-Con, with like a single Joy-Con.
Yeah, the wee tiny pad.
It's really, especially for me,
I remember standing at work trying to. Was it not FIFA?
Me and you had
a game of FIFA.
Whenever I just got my Switch,
Joy-Cons.
I didn't realize at the time because I just got it that the sleeve things that go over the top of it to make the buttons a bit easier to press.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were a thing, and it was just desperate trying to get my.
Are you missing one of those? Because I found one in my house.
Yes.
Good.
No, because you gave me your one saying I'll eventually. I remember this. I lost my one in your house, and you said
it's mine not branded, no.
No.
Oh, good. Okay.
No, it's just normal. You've got the Smash Switch, but no, they're just.
Because the Joy-Cons just have a wee thing.
Yeah. So what happened was I'd lost my little black sleeve thing for the Switch Joy-Con, and you said, "Here, just take mine. Good. I'll eventually find you."
So that one in there.
Yours will come up.
That's mine then.
Yeah, that's yours.
That'll do. Okay, that's fine. Crisis averted. I remember picking it up the other day. I was like, "This is off a Switch. Where'd this come from?" I was looking at Kaylee. He's like, "I don't know. We need to find out." Because it's such a stupid, innocuous wee thing. You see, if you like, I know if I lost one of mine from my I would be quite annoyed about that.
Yeah,
like,
they're
you know.
I mean, CVX sell them for like $350.
Do they?
Just the one for $350.
Well, yeah, that little top bit. Yeah. I would pay £3.50 for that. I would expect it to be probably £30. You know. Much is it for what is it for a new set of Joy-Cons?
£70 new, but I think.
Much is it for just like the right one?
I think they sell that for £40. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's bad.
You know, so getting the wee bit there for $3.50, that's okay.
That's not too bad.
You know?
Yeah.
I will move on to Metroid then. This is one of Ryan, a friend of ours. He's
obsessed with
big
this.
Metroid fan. I have never played anything after Prime on the GameCube. I've played all of them up to that, I think. Apart from the mobile ones.
I've played the NES one on the Switch, and I've played the SNES one on an emulator.
Yeah.
On the RetroPie.
The SNES one, I think, it was
and
my
then
favorite.
I've just bought Metroid Prime. I just bought it yesterday.
It's good. It's first person shooter.
You got in that game, like GameCube bundle. I haven't played it obviously, but I'm looking forward to getting to it.
You really enjoy it. There's a you can roll into the ball and then it becomes Marble Madness. Honestly,
yes.
So you can fly around and you control this thing and like there's parts of the walls that are sort of lipped, so you can go. Woo! It's actually really good fun. Yeah,
Marble Madness.
You'll find yourself. It's a really good first person shooter. And obviously explore, go and see everything you can. But yeah, you'll find parts of that game where you'll roll up into a little ball and you'll spend 10 minutes just flying around a room. Woohoo!
Yeah, Metroid's been a pretty solid staple for Nintendo, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Really.
It's heavily underutilized in the modern consoles.
Oh, absolutely. So the Metroid Prime 4 it's confirmed, but there's no date confirmed on it yet.
Yeah, there was
I think it was confirmed the same time that Breath of the Wild 2 was confirmed at E3.
But they went back and they've binned. It's built to a point, but I think God, I wish I had this. I should have written this down, or maybe I have. Have I? No, I haven't. They binned the developers that were building the new Metroid because it didn't fit. I think they've brought in one of the original designers and he's involved in it now. And then instead of joining on to whatever was being made, they've just completely scrapped it and they're starting again from the start.
Right, okay.
Yeah, from what I believe.
I mean,
anyway.
so it'll be a big delay.
Yeah.
But they didn't really give a date, so there's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just confirmed. It was confirmed at the end of their.
No, I have. The latest game has been delayed, costing Nintendo 2.8% share price as they announced that development had been completely scrapped to be restarted from scratch using the original developer, Retro Studios.
Cool.
There you go. I did write it down. See?
Yeah.
I'm good at this.
So, I mean, Metroid Prime's coming. Are you going to buy it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're long overdue a Metroid game. I don't even care if it's Metroid Prime or what was the other one? Other M? Was that part of the Prime
Zero?
universe?
Or
I can't remember. There was other ones.
Fusion. And, I mean, Prime seems to be the one that's up the most. The rest just seem to be standalone.
No, there was the Metroid series, and then there was Metroid Prime. I can't remember the difference.
Metroid Prime Pinball.
But there was yeah, because he's rolled up in a wee ball. Yeah. There was another series of Metroid games. I'm sorry, I'm not as familiar with these as I really should be, but I wouldn't even care. Just give me a game of Samus in it where you get to run around and shoot stuff.
Smash.
It's like fun Halo.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoy Metroid. I would even take an hour side scrolling one. In fact,
I would enjoy
I
a side
would probably prefer a side scrolling one.
See,
Yeah.
whenever you told me that Prime's first person shooter, I'm kind of like, oh. I didn't know. I was expecting it to be the side scroller because I'd only played the side scrolling ones before.
No, it's very quick gameplay stuff. You'll really enjoy it.
Okay.
It's good. Yeah. Don't let the visuals put you off of there. It's a wee bit dated now.
Oh yeah, because, no, absolutely. It's GameCube. It's PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I would be looking forward to playing that on a HD screen with nice HD graphics and stuff. It would look lovely. Yeah, yeah. But on the GameCube, it's great. Yeah. It's really good. Yeah. I would say. I can't imagine. I can't imagine people rushing out of the house to run down to the shop to buy their new Switch because Metroid's out. But it's definitely a massive feather in the cap for the Switch.
Yeah, it's a huge game. It's like the cherry on a cake almost.
It's lovely. I'm amazed that they don't use it more. You know, Metroid is a great.
I think
series,
if they used it more, it maybe dilute it a bit much.
It doesn't happen to Zelda or anything else. But what about or Mario or anything
so I
else?
think Zelda have such
Kirby,
Zelda have such a cult following that it wouldn't matter what happened; they could just push it out.
Metroid,
but I think Metroid has their small cult following, but it's not quite The Legend of Zelda, and I think that's why they don't push it as often to keep it kind of a bit more concentrated, so that that small.
Fair enough.
I think they're using it. I think they are just using it to be like, there's also this game on our console, which is a really good game. People will be like, oh yeah, I know that.
I do like the Metroids, and if they were going to release a new console or even like another type of Switch, if they're going to release the Switch 2, which like it's meant to be a Pro version, I remember I've heard rumors about this. Yeah. So like, it's just going to be the same, but just with
better graphics,
a wee bit of better hardware. If they released a new one and used something like Metroid Prime 4 as the flagship for that, as a look at what this can do. Here it is in 4K graphics. On this.
That's not going to happen.
Why?
It's just Nintendo.
I know, but
Nintendo don't push high-end hardware.
Yes, I know, but if they're going to do a Pro or an X version of the Switch, what's it going to be?
It's just going to be PlayStation 4, just standard PlayStation 4.
But what is the Switch now? Is it the standard?
Well, the Switch is. Its HD graphics are there, but I think
is it not 1080p on a TV?
It is. I think it's more of like a PlayStation 3.5.
I don't know, dude.
I don't think it's quite at the 4.
I mean, obviously, in terms of they're limited because of the cartridge and things like that.
But the portability is also a big aspect of their game, so they can't really do too much where that becomes unplayable.
I mean, the Breath of the Wild doesn't have too much trouble. I know that it runs the battery way down, but in
that's true. Breath of the Wild does look really good, but then they dropped the resolution down to that small screen resolution, so that helps as well.
Now, they could do that. Obviously, if it dropped down, it wouldn't bother me if it was playing in handheld mode. It was sitting at 540 or whatever. It wouldn't. Yeah, and honestly, wouldn't bother me.
Legend of Zelda,
because that little screen's
Breath
pretty.
of the Wild plays at 720 whenever it's out and 1080 whenever it's docked.
Hey, why couldn't they do that with something like Metroid Prime?
Yeah, they could. They could. But I don't think they would get like a PlayStation 4 Pro or a PlayStation.
But this is what I'm saying. If they were to bring that out on the Switch as it is now, and they could put it out in 1080p as the Switch is now, if they brought out a new Switch with upgraded hardware, surely the next step would be 4K. Surely. I mean, considering the next step for the other consoles is 8K.
Yeah, that's true. They're always I guess, okay.
Know, so I mean, they do just follow a little bit behind. They're going to come out with a 4K console at some stage. You know what I mean? So
they absolutely have to.
But yeah, I would like to see something like that. I'd like to see Nintendo really get behind Metroid and
show it off.
Yeah, I mean, if it was something like that, if they could do something like that, it would make me very happy, because I just feel like it's been a wee bit up until Metroid Prime on the GameCube was the last Metroid game that I remember being really pushed. Like you've seen ads on TV and people were really excited for it. Ever since then, they've just sort of went under the radar, the Metroid games, a wee bit.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah,
but especially because when I was younger, I didn't own a SNES at the time. We had the Sega, but a lot of friends that had the SNES, and Metroid was
their game,
massive. Yeah, it was huge for everybody, and I would just like to see that come back.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But where are we on now?
That's us. That was our last topic.
No way.
That was our last topic.
No
of part
way.
one.
So that's for the part 1 away. We have loads more. Don't worry. Mother's coming.
Yeah. Pikmin as well.
I was literally just going to say a Punch Out.
Oh, come on.
Do you know, I wasn't fussed on the Wii one, but it's just
No.
I love Super Punch Out. I'm not even fussed on Mike Tyson. But
I love this. I thought we were only going to have one Pokemon topic, but we're going to have 5. We're going to have Pokemon films, manga, mystery dungeons, trading card games.
I don't remember right now. Why did I write that?
I'm so excited.
But yeah,
and we have to talk about Pokemon Pinball. Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm going to have to play it between now and then.
And Pokemon Snap as well.
Yeah, there's
I'm so excited.
Xenoblade and Yoshi and
The Pokemon Stadium
Splatoon.
games as well. The Pokemon Coliseum. And then the Generation, the fighting one.
Still talking about Pokemon.
Ah, come on,
Still
Kieran. We've
talking
got a
about
lot.
This
we
is
could do
going
a-
to
we'll just do
fade out here, and we're still talking about Pokemon. Right here, that'll do us.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah.
And thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next episode.
See you later.
Pokemon. Let's go. That was sweet.
Yeah. Go ahead there.